Hello. Hey guys. Hello. Say hi in the chat box when you guys come in. Hi, Chrissy, Casey, Tiffany, Chanel, Margarita. Hello. How are y'all? How's it going? I'm posting a link. Tell people to come join me over here. Hello. Hey girl, hey. Hey. How's everybody doing? How's business going? You know, I realize there's a good number of y'all who are not in business at all. I think y'all might be thinking about it. Y'all on the edge. Y'all still trying to figure out if y'all should do it. If y'all still trying to figure out if you should do it, my answer is a 100% yes. I might be biased, but I think you should do it. Let me know who's in business and who is not in business. Let me know that. I want to know what percentage of you guys are in business versus not in business. It's going, business is going. Okay, well, going is good. At least y'all not saying it's dead. That's good. Going is going. I am shopping for supplies now. Have you ever shopped at You Pack and Ship? I have not. In business, launching in September, in business. Okay, y'all in business. Wonderful. Okay, there's one. I'm still nervous to start. Why are you nervous? Tell me about it. So I posted I shared a post on my Instagram yesterday or day before yesterday. And it was a post that I had shared on my Facebook, my personal Facebook a couple days ago. And it was about how I literally like dream about business. Like, I kid you not, I dream about it. Like, I wake up and I like instantly grab my phone to write a note, or like I have like notebooks everywhere. I write things down. I dream about business. And so I woke up the other day and I was like, I want to start another business. So I was writing stuff down. I went and bought a domain name. I was looking into trademarks. I was like, okay, let me make sure nobody owns this name already. Like, when I'm like, I want to start a business, I just go for it. I don't start anything. I didn't want to start a business before I started my boutique. That's the funniest part. But I've always been very much so a go-getter. So I feel like, long story short, I shared this post on my Instagram about how I dream about business. And sometimes you don't have to have it, not even sometimes, you don't always have to have it all figured out. You just need to simply start. And so many people just won't allow themselves to start because they feel like it has to be perfect, or they feel like there's like this list of things that they have to have figured out prior to them starting. And I kid you not, you will learn so much more from the process of actually being in business than you will prior to you being in business. And that's why I don't coach very many people who haven't launched yet, because I can tell you what I did to launch. I can tell you what my clients have done to launch and all that. But at the end of the day, your experience of actually being in it will look so much different than the next person's. So yeah, that's my little tip for the day. But we're gonna talk about ads, y'all, because ads, I love ads. Y'all have probably heard me talk about ads on numerous occasions. There's a lot of people who are in business. Okay, that's good. Yes. Figure it out on the way. Exactly. Okay, so I'm sure y'all saw my thumbnail for this video is all about ads. So in the month of June, I made $12,000 running ads, and I spent $706 to make that money. So I actually made $12,800, that $12,800 something dollars, and I spent $706 to acquire that. So I gained an investment of $12,000, or a return on my investment of $12,000, and I invested $700 to get that money. And I was in shock. I was excited. I made $20,000 total in the month of June. So over half of the money that I made last month came from ads. And I was like, this is impressive. I was impressed with myself. But obviously, it doesn't mean much if you can't pinpoint what you did to get there. So another thing that I've been sharing all week is that every accomplishment, so like every highest point that you've gotten to thus far is an accomplishment. So like people will be like, well, I only have made $100. And I'm like, okay, that's an accomplishment. If that's the highest amount of money that you've made, what matters most in that situation is how you got there. And that's the biggest part that holds a lot of people back from growing in business, is that they don't know how they got to that point in the first place. So whether it be that the most amount of money that you made was $100 or $500 or $1,000, if you don't know how you got there, and if you can't replicate that, then you're going to always be kind of just all over the place. You're always going to be just taking random actions that don't really make sense, or that don't look like the steps you took to get to your highest point. So I've been reiterating all week that every highest point is an accomplishment. So for me, currently, $12,800 from ads is my highest point. Prior to that, I believe about seven or 8,000 was the highest amount of money that I had made running ads for my boutique in a month's time. And yeah, so that was a pretty big jump for me. I went from, four figures and not close, kind of close, but not that close, to $10,000, and I jumped all the way up to 12. But what was most shocking in that to me was that I only spent $700. And one of the biggest things that changed in my entire process was that I ran less conversion ads and more traffic ads, which might not make sense to a lot of people if you run ads. So before I get too deeply into this, and y'all be like, girl, what are you talking about? So when you run ads, you get to choose an objective. So if you are currently running ads and you are doing it by way of pressing the boost button on Facebook or the promote button on Instagram, then you are simply just increasing your reach, which means that your content is being shown to more people. But when you are running ads, you do it from the Facebook Ads Manager. So the Facebook Ads Manager is like a platform within Facebook's platform that allows you to run your social media ads. So within the Facebook Ads Manager, I can create ads that'll run across Facebook, across Instagram, and various other places on the internet. So most people, especially when in my case, I talk to a lot of boutique owners. Let me move this way. The sun is going down, so I'm trying not to lose the light. I got terrible light in here. So when I talk to a lot of people about ads, before they really know what they're doing, they say, I've been running ads and I'm not making money, or I'm spending money, I'm not making my money back, or I'm running ads and I'm not getting any purchases, or I don't even know if I'm getting purchases from the ads. They say stuff like that. And that's because they are pressing that boost button and that promote button all dang day. And I feel like it's almost kind of a scam in a way, because I feel like Facebook and Instagram knows that people will conveniently press that button because it's there. They know that they can spend however much they want. They can stop it when they want and all that. So it's an easy way for Facebook and Instagram to make money off of people who don't know any better. So within the Facebook Ads Manager, you can choose an objective for your ads. You can say, I want this ad to drive traffic to my website. I want to acquire conversions, meaning purchases, add to carts, things like that. You can run brand awareness ads. You can run ads to increase video views, to drive traffic to a physical store. There's a ton of objectives that you can choose. So you literally can tell Facebook what you want this ad to do. So before I get to my process, one of the biggest issues beyond boosting and promoting that people have is that they feel like if they give Facebook their money, that they are supposed to see a result. Facebook is simply just a driving force. They just do what you tell it to do. Ultimately, you still have to sell the product. So you choose the objective of traffic. Facebook will show your ad to people who are likely to click on your post and go to your website, but ultimately your website's content, the product itself, the product description, the organization of your website, all of that has to do the selling. Facebook isn't selling your merchandise. Facebook isn't saying, give me your money and we'll sell your merchandise for you. They're saying, give us your money and we'll show your content to people who might care or who might take the action that you want them to take. Now, when you are inputting, the interest and the locations and all that stuff, you're picking that. So if Facebook shows your content to the people that you told it to pick to show it to, you chose that. So people will say, Facebook just keep taking my money. Facebook ads don't work. Facebook does this, Facebook does that, and they blame it on Facebook. It's not Facebook's fault. And so another thing that happens within that is that people just give up. They don't try it again. They spend that 5, 10, 20, I don't know, $100 or whatever on the ads. They think that Facebook was supposed to do something on their behalf by way of giving them money or giving them purchases. And then when that doesn't happen, they don't want to do it anymore. So there's a long list of things. There's a long list of things to know within running ads. But the biggest thing that I want you guys to know is that Facebook is not going to sell your merchandise for you. Ultimately, your business is what's going to sell it. So your business as a whole, your brand, let me stop saying business, your brand needs to resonate with the audience that you place the content in front of. Ultimately, Facebook's just going to show your content to more people who are likely to take whatever action that you're saying you want to see happening when you run this ad. Okay, so the biggest thing that changed in my ads process was that I didn't run as many conversion ads. I ran more traffic ads. So when you choose conversions, most people assume if I choose conversions, that means that I should acquire purchases from this ad, or I should acquire more purchases from this ad, or that means Facebook's going to show my ad to people who are likely to make a purchase. Yes, 100% true. However, people neglect to understand that you can also acquire a purchase from a traffic ad. So again, when you choose your objective, Facebook is going to show your ad to people who are likely to take that action. But that's not to say that if you show the ad to a person who is likely to click on the ad, that's not to say that that person isn't likely to purchase as well. So I started running a ton more of traffic ads and only a couple of conversion ads. And I started getting tons of purchases from my traffic ads. So the key within that was that I had to target audiences that were actually showing interest in my brand. So like I couldn't assume or have this inkling that complete strangers were going to buy from my traffic ad. So I ran the traffic ads to people who had engaged with my Instagram, people who had engaged with my website, people who had added to cart, things of that nature. So I ran the ads specifically to people who had taken specific actions. So sidebar, if you don't know, within the ads manager, you can create what's called a custom audience. Custom audiences are groups of people who have taken specific actions or who have viewed specific pages on your website, things like that. So you can segment people based on actions that they've taken. So when I go to create these ads, I don't have to choose, everybody on the internet. I don't have to like input interest and all that stuff. I can just pull from my custom audiences. So I can say, I want this ad to be shown to people who have viewed these products, or I want this ad to be shown to people who have added to cart in this duration of time, things like that. So I stopped running so many conversion ads, started running more traffic ads. Conversion ads cost more because Facebook essentially has to work a lot harder to get you the result that you want to get. So the easier way to explain that would be that there's more people online who are likely to click on a post than there are people who are likely to click on a post and actually purchase. So essentially, because there are less people who are likely to purchase, Facebook has to work harder, which means you have to pay more for that result. So when I am choosing the objective of traffic, obviously there's a lot more people who are likely to click on it. And some of those people are also people who are likely to purchase. So that's what happened. And so when I talked about me making more money but spending less, that was because I was running more traffic ads, which cost significantly less than my conversion ads. So, excuse me. So when you run your ads in the ads manager, it'll tell you how much money you've spent out of your budget. It'll tell you how much each result costs. So for conversions, it'll say your cost per result is, let's say, $2. So it'll say essentially that it costs you $2 for every purchase that you've acquired. Within traffic ads, your cost per result is measured in either link clicks or landing page views. So again, because there's more people who are likely to click on a link than to purchase, it costs less. So my cost per result for conversions was like $2.50, $3.58, $4.38, stuff like that. Whereas my cost per result for my traffic ads was like 58 cents per link click, 72 cents per landing page view. So I was spending significantly less for the action that I asked Facebook for. So I asked Facebook to show my ads to people who are likely to click and likely to land on the page, not people who are likely to purchase. But I knew that these people were closer to the point of making the purchase because they had engaged with my brand before. They had been to specific pages on my website. They had added to cart, all of these different things. It says YouTube didn't tell me, oh, I'm sorry. Hey. So, yes. So I changed a very significant part of my process. And I've learned that a lot of people who run ads, especially some of the people in my ads course, they feel that if they run conversion ads, that they are supposed to acquire purchases. So they go from like assuming that if I run an ad, I'm supposed to make purchases. And now they're like, if I run a conversion ad, I expect to make purchases. And it doesn't always happen like that. So the biggest thing that a lot of people neglect to understand within the process of running ads is what's known as the buyer's journey. So within the buyer's journey, essentially it entails these different levels of interaction or interest that a customer will have in relation to them purchasing from you, or them being interested in your brand, and then on the way to them making a purchase. So they start at the phase of awareness, and then they go to the phase of consideration. Then they go to the phase of purchasing. You can also fit that into what's known as a sales funnel, which is an upside down triangle. So essentially, the number of people within this triangle gets significantly smaller the further down the funnel that they get. So like people will say, I get 1,000 sessions on my website every single week, but I only get like 10 purchases, and I don't understand why. And that's because people are moving through the buyer's journey, or they're moving through the sales funnel. So not everybody that starts up here at the top of the funnel is going to make it down here. So I always tell people it's completely normal for you to have a really high number of website clicks or website visits versus the number of people who have actually purchased from you. That's normal. That's completely natural. So within the sales funnel, people go from the traffic phase, which is where you drive the traffic to your website. So they visit your website for the first time. Then they go to the consideration phase, where like they might be weighing their options. They're trying to learn more about your brand. Basically, they're trying to see whether or not they can trust you. They're trying to figure out whether or not you're worthy of their dollars at that point. So then after that, they move to the phase of becoming a prospect. So they've decided that they can trust you. They're like, yeah, I definitely think I can vibe with this brand or whatever. They might have signed up for your email list at this point. They may have added merchandise to their cart, stuff like that. But they may not have made a purchase just yet. So then after that, they move to the bottom of the funnel, which is the smallest area. And that's when they become a customer. And so within the ads process, you can do what's called retargeting. So people will completely neglect the fact that they can retarget, or they don't know that they can retarget people. So when you create a custom audience, you can create an audience of people who have viewed content or viewed a specific product or collection. You can create an audience of people who've added to cart, people who've initiated checkout, people who have made a purchase, and then you retarget these people. So when you retarget, that essentially means that you're putting your brand and your products back in front of them again, intentionally. So for example, if you have ever been on like Amazon, or you've been on like Walmart.com, any website, if you've ever been on any website and you clicked off of it, and then you all of a sudden clicked on another website, and in the sidebar you saw an ad for that product that you were just looking at, and you're like, why the heck is this thing following me? Like, how do they know that I'm on this website? That's a retargeting ad. So all of these platforms give businesses the capability to do what's called retargeting. So you, as a business owner, as a boutique owner, Facebook gives you that option as well, but you have to have custom audiences created for you to be able to retarget people. So when we were speaking on the funnel, when people get down here and they become your customer, people will completely neglect them. They're like, okay, I got these people's money. whatever, let me move back. I'm trying to get in front of all these new people. And they just completely neglect their purchase. They're people who have given them money. And you don't want to do that, because the people who have given you their money will become your greatest supporters. And it's a lot easier for you to sell to them a second time than it is to get someone to buy from you for the first time. So I like to retarget people who have made a purchase from me in the past via ads. I also create what's called lookalike audiences. So you can create lookalike audiences of any custom audience that you have created. So you will create this lookalike audience, and then Facebook will go out and find people who have similar interests, who have taken similar actions, who follow similar pages or have liked similar pages and all that whatnot. They'll go group all of these people together. And now these lookalike audiences become audiences of people that you can retarget, or not retarget, that you can target in your ad. So now I have lookalike audiences of people who've made a purchase from me. So I'm like, okay, these people have made a purchase from me. Facebook's going to find people who have the same interest as these people. And then that increases the likelihood of some strangers coming to purchase from me, because they're similar to people who have purchased from me in the past. So there are tons of things within the scope of running ads. The biggest thing that I would say that you have to have an understanding of is the buyer's journey. Not everybody's going to make it to the point of purchasing. So there's going to be ads that perform better than others. There's going to be ads that you run that don't make any money whatsoever, but you have to understand that there's information within those ads that you can learn from. So for example, I have an ad that I just turned off. I want to say I spent $47 or $49, and I spent $49 and I made $27. So definitely not a return on my investment. I didn't make my money back. But once I dug into that information, I could see, that I had a certain number of link clicks. I could see what platform that ad was performing best on, meaning that I was receiving like interactions, likes and comments and stuff like that, and shares, all of that good stuff. So no, I didn't get very many purchases, but I was able to dig into the data and see, okay, like my ad was performing really, or receiving a lot of engagement in these states. I can see that my audience was on Instagram, not Facebook for this ad. The people on Facebook weren't interacting, things like that. So you got to understand the buyer's journey. You got to understand that every ad will not generate dollars, but it does generate information that you can use when you run new ads. You have to understand that Facebook is not going to sell your merchandise for you. Facebook is just going to put your merchandise in front of more people on your behalf. And ultimately, you have to do the selling. Another thing, you guys, if you have an email list, you can export your email list and import it into Facebook and target your email list through ads. So you always want to be thinking about ways that you can target your audience in various places. So for example, I have a custom audience of people who engage with my Instagram. When I run ads targeting people who have engaged with my Instagram in the last 30 days, they'll see my ads on Instagram and on Facebook, as long as I choose the placement of Facebook and Instagram. So you always want to be thinking about how you can get your content in front of your audience in multiple places. What else? Your website needs to be appealing. I don't know how many times I have clicked on people's ads. So if you guys don't know, I have an ads course, and so I can see the girls' ads who are inside of my course. So I'll click on their ad, and I'm like, okay, the ad looks good. The pictures look good. Let me click on that. Let me click on the link and go to their website. I go to their website. The website is completely unorganized, or the link that I clicked didn't take me to the product that was featured or the page that they were talking about, things like that. So along with you thinking about how to effectively run ads, you also want to think about where you're sending the people to. Ultimately, if your website is unappealing, if your website is unorganized, if you're sending them to a page that has absolutely nothing to do with what you were publicizing in the ad, you increase the likelihood of them not sticking around and ultimately not purchasing. So for example, like people will say, new arrivals just dropped. Click the link below to shop. And so I click the link and it takes me to their homepage. And I'm like, why you take me to your homepage? Take me to the new arrivals page. Or let's say the ad is for it's one photo of a specific item. If I click on the link, I expect to be taken to the specific item, but I click on the link and it takes me to your homepage. So not only do I got to go from your homepage to your sets, but now I got to go dig through the sets to go find the item. So within your scope of running the ads, you also want to think about the impact or the role, that's the proper word, the role that your website will ultimately play in someone being able to decide that they want to make a purchase. So, okay, let's say that your ad looks good, the link takes them to the page, fantastic. But now they get to the page, and then let's say that you have in the ad, you have a picture of you wearing the thing. But then on your website, you have a stock photo. And it's like, I don't know if this is going to be what I'm receiving or if this is a scam. I don't know if it's the same person. I don't know. So obviously your picture could impact whether or not they decide to make a purchase. Another thing, your product description. So, okay, the ad did its job. You got them to click. The picture was cool. They're like, okay, I like this. They get to the website. They have questions in their brain. They're like, is this going to fit me? What material is this made of? All of these questions. And ultimately, your product description needs to be able to answer those questions for them. So if you ain't got a product description or a good descriptive product description, you lose them again. So again, when I mentioned that Facebook is not going to sell your merchandise for you, Facebook ain't going to sell your merchandise for you. So like people will say, I get tons of link clicks from my ads, but then people don't buy anything. And I guarantee you it's because something on your website is just not right. If they're clicking on it, they're obviously interested, but there's something on that website that is not working out for you. So if you are in the boat of receiving link clicks, or especially if it's a significant amount of link clicks, but not any purchases or very many purchases, I would 100% recommend that you do some editing to your website, reorganize some things, switch up your home page, change. I wish what is this platform? YouTube. I wish YouTube would let me share my screen, but I change my homepage all the time. I rearrange the order of things. I add new photos. My banner at the top of my website changes at least once a week, if not multiple times a week. That's a complete sidebar. And let me just add that. If y'all don't change that dang on banner image, I am going to pass out. I don't know how many times I have gone to people's websites, and this is the thing. I don't know why people spend so much time, effort, and money on these really pretty banners with the sparkly outline and the cute fonts and the whatever, they did the professional photo shoot and it has their logo on the side and all that. I'm like, that's real cute. But whatever you're wearing in that picture, is that going to be on your website all day, every day, 24/7, 365? No, I hope not. So that area at the top of your website, that should change. That should always reflect whatever's of most importance to you. That should always reflect your new arrivals, some sale you're running, some featured item, something. There should always be something of importance to you, and ultimately something that is going to drive money into your bank account. So I always say the easiest way to think about what your website needs to look like is to just visit the websites of established businesses. Pay attention to it. Just pick one. Pick a company, H&M, Forever 21, Zara, whoever. Pick a company and make a mental note. Put a alarm in your phone and check their website once or twice a day for a week. And make note of how many changes they make to their homepage, to that banner area. Just pay attention to that. We're retailers. We sell products. People don't care about that pretty image that you paid $50 for from that really good graphic designer. Like, that's real cute, but that ain't putting money in the bank account, okay? So your website can play a really big role in people's decision of whether or not to purchase from you. So another thing that you want to think about within your ads process is whether or not it makes sense for you to be on a platform, one platform versus the other. So like my people are primarily on Instagram. So every now and then I do run ads on Facebook. Every now and then I make money from Facebook, but it flip-flops. I don't know why. For the majority of the year, I make the most money via ads from Instagram, and every now and then it flips to Facebook. So I'm always digging into my ads data to see, okay, is it a certain type of ad that works really well for Facebook? Is it something that I said in the copy that is working really well for Facebook? I'm still figuring that out. But you obviously want to know what platform works really well for your ads. You don't want to waste your money on a platform that's not generating you very many results. So at the beginning, it kind of makes sense for you to test both of them out, Facebook and Instagram. But ultimately, one might not work at all for you or not work very well for you. Also within that, so if you guys don't know, if you're boosting and promoting, you don't get to choose your platform. If you are running your ads through the ads manager, you can choose Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. There's this thing called Audience Network in articles. So like if you've ever read an article on like Facebook, and you see the ads in between the paragraphs, you can place your ads in between those paragraphs. So when you're boosting and promoting, you don't get all those options. When you run the ads through the Facebook Ads Manager, you can get all these options for where you want your ads to run. Within that, you can get even more specific. So you can say, I want this ad to run on Instagram, but I only want it to run it on Instagram stories. I don't want it to run on Instagram feed. Or you can say, I want this ad to run on Facebook news feed and Instagram stories and in articles. So like you can choose multiple ones at the same time, and that ad will run on all of those platforms at the same time. And then ultimately Facebook will divide your budget up and decide where your money would be best spent based on the audience that you're targeting. Good God. Okay. So I was thinking earlier, I was like, one of the, I shouldn't laugh, but one of the I'm gonna say it, never mind, I'm just gonna laugh. So one of the funniest things that I encounter on a regular basis is people saying that they're not reaching nearly as many people as Facebook told them that they were going to reach. So before I say that, most of my ads that I run, I start them at $5 a day, and then depending on how they run, I increase the budget. So I go from $5 a day to $10 a day, $10 a day to $20 a day, $20 a day, and up. So most of these ads start at $5 a day. $5 is not very much, but $5 can get you very far. So like I said, I made $12,000 in the month of June running ads, and I ran, I want to say, I don't know, probably like 12 ads, and all of them I ran for $5 a day. I think I increased one to $10 a day. So I didn't have to spend a ton. Obviously, I only spent $706. I didn't have to spend a ton to make a ton. So let that be known that you don't have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. And also spending more money doesn't always generate you more money. Make sure y'all make note of that. Okay, so people will say, I created this ad and it said my estimated reach was 128 million, but I only reached like 5,000. That's what they'll say, something like that. And so I'll be like, okay, what was your budget? And they say $5. And I say, oh, okay. So you can only reach so many people with a $5 budget. Let's just put that out there. You can only reach so many people with a small budget. So I want you to, whenever you're running your ads, especially when you're thinking about your budget and how many people you think you're going to reach with your budget, Facebook will always provide you an estimated audience number. And then they'll also provide you with an estimated daily reach. So the estimated audience number is telling you the number of people that fit the interest details that you've been put. So like if you put in fashion, if you put in the person that's interested in fashion, Beyonce and Forever 21, it's going to say, for example, there are 128 million women who are interested in those three things. And then if you put in, let's say, between the ages of 18 and 24, then it'll narrow it down. It'll say there are 105 million women who are between the ages of 18 and 24 who like Beyonce, Forever 21, and I forgot what the third thing was that I said, fashion. So the more details that you add, that number will go up, it'll go down, or whatever. That's just telling you how many people fit those interests. It tells you how many people fit that description. Now, when you input what your budget is, then they're going to tell you out of those people, that big number, how many people you're estimated to reach out of that number. So I don't know why people be missing that number altogether for whatever reason. But they're like, it said 128 million and I only reached 700. I don't understand. Facebook cheating me out my money. No, Facebook is doing what it can with what you provided to them. So if you only spend $5, please know that you're not going to reach a ton of people. It's just telling you that this is how many you could potentially reach if you up that budget a bit. So when I increase my budget, so like when I have an ad that's performing really well at $5 a day, and then I increase it to $10 a day, if my estimated daily reach was, let's say, 3,000 people, then ultimately it's going to increase to like 6,000 people. So now I'm saying instead of me reaching 3,000 people with my $5 budget, I can reach 6,000 people a day with my $10 budget. So you can only reach so many people with a small budget. And the more money you spend, the more people Facebook will expose you to. So we just got to get in the habit of stopping. We got to stop blaming Facebook. It ain't Facebook's fault, okay? Facebook, think about it this way. You are giving Facebook money to get you a certain result. If you feel like, and this is what most people do, if you feel like Facebook is not giving you results, you're going to stop spending money. Facebook wants your money, so why would they not do what they can to get you the result that you would like to see? Because they want to keep giving your money. They don't want you to stop giving them your money. So they know that for people like us, or for me, I'm gonna say me, like people like me, I spent $700 and I made $12,000. I'm like, oh yes, I'm definitely gonna give Facebook more of my money next month. I know that Facebook did what it was supposed to do with what I gave to it. I know that I did what I needed to do via my website and retargeting and all that to get the results that I got. I know that Facebook did what I asked it to do with what I provided to it. When people say it was Facebook's fault, I'm like, girl, it wasn't Facebook's fault. You need to just make some alterations somewhere. You need to figure out where the hole is in your process. So that's one of the biggest parts that is holding a lot of people back. And also they just give up. They're just like, I quit. I don't want to do it no more. So along with all of this, you definitely want to give yourself a budget. You want to say to yourself, like put it set in stone. I'm going to dedicate this amount of money per month, per week, per day, whatever it is, to running ads. And let that be that, especially if you're at the beginning of your business. So let me say, I've been in business for like a year and 8 months, I think. Like I said, this $12,000 a month from ads, this is the first time that I've seen 5 figures from ads. And it's been a year and 8 months. So you shouldn't go into running ads at the beginning of your business expecting like these really grand results, especially knowing that you don't really know how the platform works anyway. So along with that, you want to have an understanding of how these platforms work. So even though you're running ads and even though your content is being shown to more people, Facebook and Instagram are 2 totally different platforms. So for example, Facebook is more of a community-based platform. So they prioritize anything that's community, anything that's like uplifting, anything that's like overly smiley and happy and conversational, things of that nature. Whereas Instagram is very visual. It's very driven by imagery and video and things of that nature. So certain types of content tends to perform different ways on different platforms. So even if you have an understanding of how to run ads, you also want to have an understanding of how these platforms actually work. Ultimately, both of these platforms want people to stay on their platforms. They want people to spend more money on their platforms and things like that. So they're going to do whatever they can to get you the results that you want to see, because ultimately they want your money. That's it. So again, gotta stop blaming them. So I was looking at some data about Instagram earlier, because when I was just talking about, how there's so many people that fit into, the interest that you input. There are so many people on Instagram and Facebook. So I was looking it up earlier today, and I was looking up statistics about Instagram. So I wrote them down because y'all know I like a good note. But there's 1 billion people on Instagram. So they said there's 1 billion users, monthly users on Instagram. Of those 1 billion users, there are I believe, hold on, did I write it down? There's 1 billion users. Oh, yes. So there's 1 billion users, but of the 1 billion, only 110 million of them are in the United States. So, for example, even though we input this information on, let's say you were putting your ad on Instagram, and it says that there are 128 million women between the ages of whatever that are interested in whatever. Let's say it says 128 million, but then if you go in and you dig deeper and you're like in the United States, then that number goes down. So I was thinking like, okay, how many people actually are on Instagram? So even if they tell me there's 128 million women who fit this criteria, how many of them are actually on the platform that I want to run my ad on? Not nearly as many. So again, there's 1 billion people on Instagram, 110 million of them are in the United States. So then I was like, okay, well, how do they use Instagram? So it says 500 million people use Instagram stories daily. So half of those 110 million, or no, half of those billion people use the stories every single day. But then I'm like, okay, and what number of that is in the United States? Because I don't target anybody outside of the United States. So all of these numbers are smaller based on whatever locations that you're targeting and things like that. So there's so many little factors to take into consideration. And when you are running ads at the beginning of your business, you're not thinking about that. All you're thinking about is, what can I do to make this purchase? What can I do to increase my sales? What can I do to make some money? That's all we be thinking about. We ain't thinking about, oh wait, there aren't that many people who are going to see this ad. There aren't that many people who fit this criteria. And so within all of this, you also want to think about your targeting and how specific you can get to who your audience is. So one of the things that I wrote down, there was something really, really important that I wrote down. Okay. So of the people on Instagram, it says their top interests are traveling, music, and then food and drink. So then you have to think about, okay, what percentage of people actually get on these platforms with the intention to shop? Not very many of them. I was researching, it wasn't that very many. It did say that I think 66% of people say they get on Instagram every day to engage with a brand. So they do get on Instagram to like see what their favorite brands are doing or posting or whatever. But ultimately, most of them aren't getting online to shop. So when you think about targeting, this is another thing that I talk about a lot with my audience and with my clients, is that a lot of people aren't specific enough with their targeting. They'll choose things that are in relation to fashion. You know, they choose interested in fashion, interested in online shopping, interested in fashion boutiques, stuff like that. Because they assume, okay, well, I'm a fashion boutique, so obviously I want to target people who are interested in fashion boutiques and fashion and online shopping, right? Yes, but no. Because if you take what I just said into consideration, their top interests are traveling, music, food, and drink. You will want to target them based on other things that you know that they're interested in. You want to target them based on the other things that they get online for, because most of them aren't getting online to shop. So I would say, not this last month, but like previous months, that was another huge thing that changed in the beginning of my ads process, was realizing that most people aren't getting online to shop. I need to target them based on all the other things that I know that they're interested in. So the type of music that they listen to, their lifestyle choices, the pages that they like, the other brands that they support. So like, are they into like Sephora and Ulta, and do they shop at like Saks Fifth Avenue, like things like that? You want to think about your audience on a deeper level, not just on the surface fashion level. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make with ads, is that they think that they're supposed to target people based on what they're selling, not based on what the person is actually interested in outside of what they're selling. I know that doesn't make sense probably, but I'm telling y'all, it works wonders. So let me see. Did I write anything else? Let me see. Oh, another thing that I want to mention is, I don't know if all of y'all are in my Facebook group. If you are, feel free to join. The name of my Facebook group is Boutique Success. But we talk about, there's a lot of conversation about ads in there, and people will share their, tips and tricks. People will share, videos that they've watched on Instagram. Not Instagram, on YouTube. People that they followed, ask courses that they've taken, all these different things that they'll do and share. And I don't hate on anybody's, hustle. You got a course, feel free, whatever. I have a course. I'm gonna tell you all about it momentarily. Because there's a sale this weekend. But I want to say that not everybody's process or not everybody's strategy works for every single type of business. So I want to say this because I think we talked about it the last time I went live, but earlier last year I took a marketing class. It was geared towards learning how to run ads, and I already had ads experience. In my past job, I ran ads. I had complete control of our marketing budget, so I spent all the money I wanted to on ads. So I essentially taught myself how to run ads. So I knew how to do it. I just wanted to learn how to scale it, make it better. And so within that course, I learned a lot, but I didn't learn a lot that was applicable to what I do in my business or from my boutique. I learned a lot that I could apply to the Boutique Academy and like my coaching services and things like that, because the strategies that he uses for his courses and things of that nature work really well for the type of businesses that are selling like informational things and courses and coaching and stuff like that. I didn't find it as valuable for my boutique. And that's because for us, there are so many other underlying things that we have to think about when running our ads. And ultimately, we have to have other things in place that will generate people's interest. We have to rely very heavily on our imagery, very heavily on like video marketing and things like that. Whereas other people can create a graphic on Canva with some words, with some text, and run an ad all day, every day. That ad doesn't have to change at all. They don't have to go take a new picture or any of that. So I didn't find very much value there for that part of my business, because ultimately I realized there were other things that I would have to change frequently that would allow my ads to perform in the way that they do now. And then ultimately, like for example, I could get my ad in front of all of the right people all day, every day. But ultimately, once they get to my website could be great, product description could be great, and then they can go click the thing, and ultimately their size could be gone. So I could have did everything right, but if the size is gone, then I can't do anything about it. So it was just stuff like that that I was like, okay, this doesn't really work well for a product-based business by way of like clothing, shoes, accessories, things of that nature. So I say all that to say that there are lots of people who will share information about what you should do about your ads and how you should run them and things like that. But ultimately, the process of running ads is the same, but the strategies have to be different. Because of the nature of our businesses in relation to like a drop shipping business or, somebody selling services and things of that nature. And so, what was I going with this? Oh, so in my group, people share, videos and stuff that they have watched. I have heard really great stories from people following, somebody else's instructions from YouTube. And I've heard complete horror stories of people following, people's strategies that they have shared in their YouTube videos. People have wasted hundreds, thousands of dollars following YouTubers' instructions for how they run their drop shipping companies and how they run their service-based companies and how they run ads for them. And ultimately, those processes didn't work for them. So I just want y'all to know that within the scope of running ads, there's definitely going to be money spent and sometimes money not made. But ultimately, if you stick it through, if you're dedicated to learning, dedicated to digging into all of the information that you can find within the ads, you can have some really great success. So again, June 2020, Jess made $12,000. May 2020, I think I made like $7,000. April, I don't know, I made like $4,000. My number goes up. For a long time, it was very steady. It was just steady. It was like $2,000, $3,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $3,000 too. Like it didn't go beyond like $5 for the longest. And I was fine with that. I was like, at least I know the ads are working, but I wasn't sure about how to scale it. And then once I found out how to scale it, then I just kept scaling it. So ultimately you got to find what works for you. And it definitely takes consistency, dedication to digging into the data that's there and figuring out how you can pivot and make it better. You can't give up. Running an ad for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and being like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to just cancel it. And then not even taking the time to see what happened or like see what information you can gather from it. You're going to always feel like you're completely failing if that's how you're going to run your business. I feel like it's more light over here. Let me move this way. Let's see. No, maybe no, it's not. But so you definitely have to stick it through. You're going to feel discouraged. Okay, there's some light. I don't know what happened, but you're definitely going to feel discouraged if you're not seeing that money. It's part of the process. I kid you not. I still run ads to this day that don't make no money, but then I'll run one right after it, and I make, I don't know, 7 times the amount that I spent, 8 times, 10 times the amount that I spent, plus obviously the money that I felt like I wasted, or I didn't feel like I wasted, but somebody else would say you wasted it. The money that I spent for the previous ad that didn't work, I make that money back with the new ad. So you gotta stick it through. You gotta, you gotta know, like, what, I don't know nothing about playing cards, but say you gotta know how to fold them and hold them. Is that it? I don't know. Don't talk about me, y'all. But basically, you gotta know how to read data. You gotta be comfortable in your ability to read the data and use the information that you see to make a better decision the next time around. So I say all this to say, run the ads, but don't do it if you're going to just run them and you're not going to monitor them, if you're not going to be dedicated to learning. Sidebar, another thing that I want to add is I stopped giving my ads a time. So I don't put a time limit on, like, I want the ad to start now and I want it to end on this day. I just run them ongoing. If they're performing, I just want them to keep performing. Like, if I'm making sales from them, I want them to keep generating me sales. So I don't put a deadline on them. But with that being the case, I have to monitor them. I have to make sure that I am frequently going back to see, okay, let me see how much I've spent versus how much I've made, things like that. Because you can forget an ad is running, and before you know it, you've spent $5,000. Okay, that's never happened, but it can happen. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, y'all run ads. Who run ads? Does anybody run ads and see really good results? Who's running ads and they're like, who was running ads before I said all this and was like, I hate ads, they don't work, Facebook just want to take my money? Who was saying? I feel like I know there's somebody here that was like, I don't like them. I feel like the large majority of those people are people who boost and promote on Facebook and Instagram. I was only hitting promote. See, I told you. And you know what? Let me say that too. Boosting and promoting can be very helpful as long as you understand how it works. So I boost posts, or not boost. Boost is on Facebook. Promote. I promote my images on Instagram here and there, but only if it's performing well. So just like if my ad is performing well, I increase my budget. If the post is performing well on its own, then I'll boost it. But I don't boost it with the intention to make sales, because I know that that's not what Facebook's going to do if I push boost. Facebook is, or promote. Facebook, I keep saying Facebook, Instagram and Facebook, they're just going to show that content to more people who fit the interest that I input. So when I do boost things, I do it with the intention for my content to be shown to more people, and with the intention to send the traffic to a very specific page on my website so that my custom audience can collect all of the data for everybody who clicked on that ad and went to that page, so that then I can go into the Facebook Ads Manager and create an ad that retargets those people. So then I'm like, hey, thanks for checking us out on Instagram. Click this link to sign up for our email list and get 10% off your first purchase. So I boost and promote with the knowledge that these people aren't going to make purchase 9 times out of 10. If they do, great, super happy about that. But I boost knowing that these people are going to get added to a custom audience that I can ultimately retarget down the line. So I won't tell you that boosting and promoting don't work. It's just more so that it should fit into an overlying marketing strategy. You definitely shouldn't rely solely on boosting. And I've heard people say, I slid in, what's it called? Like some big boutique owners, DMs, and asked them, do they run ads? And they said that all they do is boost and promote. Again, what works for one will not work for another. But again, if you're talking to an established business owner who has an audience of a certain size, who has gained trust, who has gained credibility, it's going to be a lot easier for them to make money than it is for you to make money as a newbie. It sucks, but it is the reality of the situation. So at the beginning of this video, I talked about the buyer's journey. That falls into that. So within the buyer's journey, there is a point where you need to be focused on building trust. So I always tell my audience that you definitely want to be thinking about how you can have various pieces of content that have multiple objectives. So just like you would give your ads an objective, you want to give your content an objective. So is the objective of this piece of content that I'm sharing to build up my audience? Is my objective with this content to build trust? Is the objective of this content to drive traffic to my website? Is the objective to drive sales? Is my objective to get engagement? You want to have objectives for your content as well, because ultimately you got to build credibility, and people will jump solely into just trying to make sales. Every single caption says the same thing. It's like, the blue flower dress just landed. It's $24.99. Click the link in our bio to shop today. Only 6 available. And then they're like, why didn't anybody click the link in my bio? Why didn't anybody buy my dress? I'm like, well, first of all, you posted it once. Second of all, you didn't use no hashtags, so the same 3 people saw that post as yesterday. Number 3, you didn't tell them anything of value about this item other than the price. And price and value are not the same thing. I know technically speaking, value and price can be same, but when we're speaking value by way of marketing, not the same thing. People don't make purchasing decisions when, especially in relation to like clothing boutiques, they don't make purchasing decisions 9 times out of 10 because of the price. So you didn't tell them nothing of value. Fourth of all, they probably saw 5 other boutiques selling the same thing. So they're at this point, they're like, why should I buy from you in the first place? Number 5, they're like, I don't know this girl. I don't even know who owned this boutique. I don't even know her name. Why should I give her my money? I don't know if I should give her my money, but I'll stick around. I'll keep following her. I'll see what else she has to offer. So when you're creating your content, you want to be thinking about what your objective is. What are you trying to achieve from sharing this content? And every piece of content that you share cannot have the goal of you making money. People don't want to be sold to at all. They just want to feel like they made an informed decision on their own. And you lose more people trying to actively sell than you do when you're not trying to sell at all. So like, I make the most money when I'm not trying to sell, if that makes any sense. When I create content that's just like, for example, I'll share a piece of content or like a picture of something, and it'll say like, I don't know, this blue midi dress is my favorite item on the website right now. It's super soft. It stretches a ton. Oh, and it has pockets. I love pockets. I'll buy anything that has pockets. It has a zipper side, so it's easy to get into. I wore it to brunch this weekend, and I got so many compliments, and I love it so much. I didn't say anything about clicking the link in my bio. I didn't say anything about how much it costs, any of that. They're just like, dang, it stretched. Dang, it got pockets. Dang, she got compliments this weekend. Oh, she wore it to brunch. That is a cute brunch dress. Then they're like, oh, you look cute. Then they click the link in the bio. I don't know why that's how the human brain works, but that's how the human brain works. They don't want to be sold to. They want to feel like they made this decision on their own. So I feel like I know that for me, I sell the most merchandise when I'm not trying to sell it. Or I'm always trying to sell it, but I'm not directly forcibly trying to sell it to anyone. And you will always be able to clearly tell when I'm desperate for a sale. If I do mention a price, I'm desperate for a sale. If I'm not mentioning a price, I'm not desperate for the sale, because I know the sale is going to come by me just being conversational. So I always, oh, my husband just pulled up. I'm always more so going for trying to build trust and credibility more than I am trying to sell to people. I'm sure you guys have all heard the saying that people buy from people, or people support people. People support people that they like, know, and trust, or people support brands that they like, know, and trust. So ultimately, you got to get them to like you. You got to get them to the point that they feel like they know you, and you got to get them to the point that they feel like they can trust you and your brand before they'll give you their money. So I know that my customers feel like they like, know, and trust me because they use my name when they write reviews, when they send me DMs, things like that. When I read my so I have emails that my customers receive after they've made so many purchases. And one of the questions in the survey says, what would you tell somebody else about Brazen Boutique? And I kid you not, so many of these surveys say, Jance's boutique is so nice and the clothes are so affordable. Or to say, Jance offers really great customer service and whatever. They mention me by name, not Brazen Boutique. I don't know why. But ultimately it's because they feel like they know me, they feel like they trust me, all that whatnot. So people gotta like, know, and trust you before they're gonna give you their money. And that also goes into your ad. So yes, you could get 1,000 link clicks from this ad, but ultimately if the person's like, I don't know this person, so I like her clothes, but I don't know, then you gotta have something in place that's gonna get your content and your brand back in front of them, so that they can feel like, oh, wow, okay, here's this brand again. Let me see what I can learn about them this week or what I can learn about them today, things like that. So, yeah. Okay, so let me tell you about the course. So I have an ads course, if y'all didn't know. I have multiple courses. So I have an ads course. I have a course for content creation, which teaches you how to take your own photos and edit your own photos and all that good stuff. I have one that's 5 master classes. Let me tell you about the master classes. The master classes are my favorite. So I frequently used to do live webinars a lot, and so I always record them and download them. So they're all my 5 most popular master classes all live inside of a portal together, and they're about all the most important things you need to know to drive sales in your business. So from email marketing to creating content that sells. So not just how I just said, writing those captions that say $24.99, click the link in our bio. No. So I have a masterclass about content that sells, Instagram, how to best use Instagram in your business. There's a class about email marketing, a class about Black Friday. The Black Friday course is like 3 hours long. I did it last November and it's 3 hours long, but it's full of juicy information. So there is that one, which is called the Boutique Masterclasses. And then there's the Boutique Training Library, which consists of a bunch of older videos and videos from past courses that I've had and videos that never made it to my YouTube channel. It's kind of like basically a library where you can pull whatever you need from it whenever you need the information. So I have 4 courses, but my ads course, well, all of the courses, they're all on sale this weekend. They're all 25% off with the code July 2020. And I'll put the link in the chat box for you guys. But the ads course is literally, I don't even know how many videos. I just added 4 and I'm going to add 4 more, 2 more tonight, 2 more tomorrow. But it teaches you my processes for creating ads. And as I learn more, I add new videos. So like once I made $12,000, I was like, shoot, let me make some new videos. So I added more videos to show like what my ads dashboard looks like, what my ads look like, things of that nature. So the ads course is 25% off. The content creation course is 25% off. And also the boutique masterclasses and the boutique training library. Whew, good God, I'm just talking. Can you show us how we can do ads with your computer? Not Facebook. YouTube doesn't allow me to share my screen, but I have an entire course that shows you how to create ads. And also, like I said, there's tons of videos on YouTube that will literally show you how to create ads. The process of creating an ad is exactly the same. Everybody's process for creating an ad looks exactly the same, but the strategies that you use to ultimately drive sales has to look different. So like, whereas it might take one business, one ad to generate a bunch of sales, another business, it might take them 4 ads to generate a bunch of sales. So like those first 3 ads might not generate any purchases, but they're all like a sequence of ads that run together with the same goal. So you can definitely what's it called? You can definitely watch some ads videos on YouTube to get an idea of what it looks like to run the ads, but ultimately the strategies that you need might not look like that person's strategies. Oh, let me share the link. Have you done YouTube ads? And if so, how have they worked out for you? I have not done YouTube ads. So I definitely want to dabble in YouTube ads. I've only done Instagram, Facebook, and then I have dabbled in Google ads. Google ads, I was able to receive a good number of traffic. I was able to receive a good amount of traffic on my website, but I didn't receive any purchases or anything like that. So I'm definitely still learning Google, but it works. I definitely know it drove some really good traffic to my website for sure. This learning experience, I'm so excited and nervous to launch. Nervous is a good thing. I always say this. There's always somebody that says they're nervous. I always say that I would be more worried if you weren't nervous. Nervous is a human feeling. I get nervous all the time. Like especially at the point in my business where I am now, I have a larger audience to serve. I have more people on my website daily. And ultimately, that means I have to have more merchandise than I typically would. So this year, again, I haven't been in business for 2 years. And so I went from, receiving like one little box here and there, ordering one pack of everything and being perfectly fine, to needing like 5, 6, 7, 8 packages of things, or having to constantly restock things. Like, so many different things changed in my business. So I get nervous every time I make one of these bigger purchases, because I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be able to sell all of this? So nervous is normal. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. What other questions did I miss? Do you know how a customer page can be made on Shopify? What do you mean a customer page? I run ads, and I've been running ads since I launched June 21st, and I haven't made any money from ads yet. I changed and edited, and I'm still not sure what I'm doing wrong. It could be a multitude of things. It could be your website. It could be the audience that you're targeting. It could be what your ads actually look like. It could be a multitude of things. I run ads. In the beginning, I spent $500 not knowing what I was doing. I have a better understanding now. I know when to shut it off. That's good. Promoting helps me with getting likes and followers, but never any sales. Yep, definitely. Just started running ads, and I get a lot of traffic, but not a lot of purchases. Yep, that's typically how it starts off. That's normal. Need help with ads. I was getting likes and follows, but no sales. I will rearrange my website and hope to make money. Yes, run ads and make money from them, but I honestly don't know what I'll do. Oh my God, see? That's what I'm saying. You got to know what works. You definitely want to figure out what actually works versus what does not work. I don't time them, but I just created a duplicated ad for traffic. How are your ads doing, Aminata? I started some that's another thing. So Aminata, she told me about Snapchat ads. So I just started testing some Snapchat ads. They're driving some good traffic, but I don't think I've made any sales from it yet. I don't think. I have to go back and look. But I've only been running for like 3 or 4 days, so we'll see how it goes. All the largest retail corporations in the world run ads. Yes, so that was another thing that I was trying to get at. So when we're spending $5 a day trying to target, as many people as we can, imagine how much money these larger corporations are spending on a daily basis or on a weekly and monthly basis. So ultimately, any business that is running ads, especially if you're running it to the same audience, you're essentially competing. So it's an auction. So essentially, the person spending the more money is obviously going to get in front of the most people. So that's another thing to consider. You definitely want to get more as specific as possible about who you want to target and who you want your ads to get in front of, so that you don't have to compete as hard to get noticed. How much does it cost to run ads? It costs as much as you would like to spend. So I spend $5 per day. You can choose a daily budget or you can choose a lifetime budget. So when you choose a daily budget, Facebook will spend the amount that you tell it to spend. So if I say $5, it's going to spend $5. Versus if you choose a lifetime budget, you have to choose a frame of time you want the ad to run. So for example, I could choose so like if I put in July 1st through July 31st, and I said that I wanted to spend $100 over that span of time, only $100 would get spent for the entire month. But Facebook would decide how much of it is spent every day during that month. So like one day you might spend $5, the next day you might spend $7, the next day you might spend $3, the next day you might spend $2. So essentially Facebook's making a decision for you based off of like how many people are online or on those platforms. They're essentially going to try to figure out when it's best to spend your money and how much is best to spend. They take my money all the time. Just got your ads course and ran my first one this week. Awesome. I don't run ads and I see really good results. I'm going to start to make even better results. Definitely. Yeah, like at the beginning of my business, I was seeing decent results. So I was like, okay, let me run some ads. So I feel like, especially if your goal is to get in front of more people and do it quickly, I would definitely dabble in ads. But again, ultimately, you know, it could go one of two ways. It could go really well or it could go not so well. Who's texting me? Somebody's texting me. You're welcome. Are your coaching sessions on sale also? They are. The same coupon code. July 2020. Hold on. Let me put the link to the coaching sessions down here too. I forgot to mention that. My coaching sessions are on sale too. So the 60-minute coaching sessions aren't on sale, but the 3 and 6 hour sessions are on sale though. Thanks for asking that. I totally forgot. Oh, why is this not working? Okay, there we go. HTTPS www. My husband just came in here, threw my package on the floor, and left. This package that he just put on my floor has been lost for a month. Here's a quick little boutique story. So the post office sucks right now. If y'all didn't know, they've been delayed packages. Same packages were delivered that were not delivered. Returning packages to sender, packages getting lost, all types of whatnot. So this particular package, it said that they were shipping it back to me because her address was incorrect, which it was. She forgot to put her apartment number on the package. So the package was supposed to get sent back to me, and that was like June 23rd, June 22nd. It is now July 24th, and it just made it back to me yesterday. It was in my P.O. box. So the post office is on my SH, you know what, list right now. But yeah, so now I need to reprint the label with her apartment number on it and ship it back to her and pray that it makes it to her. We gonna see how it goes. What site platform you suggest for services? What type of services? Are you doing like coaching or like courses? You can do and are you talking about just for like creating like a sales page or just accepting payments? I want to create a page that folks can go to custom. There's a multitude of websites you can use to create pages. I use a company called Lead Pages. They're my favorite. Snap ads are only good for traffic. Okay, good to know. Well, they're doing good. They're sending really nice traffic. I'm running an ad right now and getting a lot of traffic, but no purchases. You definitely want to go in and see like if you can narrow down the targeting, and then ultimately run retargeting ads based on the actions that you see people taking. I do Snap ads. Your classes are amazing. Thank you. My friend does $750 a day ad. That's awesome. Can we still take the different courses even if we haven't launched yet? Yep, you can. The ads course probably wouldn't be very beneficial to you though, because it's based on you having a website. I'm a doula as well. Gotcha. Okay. Well, like if you want to accept appointments of some sort, then I would recommend Acuity. If you want to create like a sales page, like where you explain your services and then have like a button that they can click to like email you or like send a question or something like that, I would recommend Lead Pages, things of that nature. So Lead Pages, Acuity. There's a program called Dubsado, which is a little bit more complex. Google is more complex. Google is definitely more complex. What do you do when an ad stops working? I turn it off. So if I'm not seeing the results that I would like to see, I turn it off. Do you use a sales funnel? I do. How old is your business? I've been in business for 1 year and 8 months. Hi, Crystal. On average, how many interests do you select for an ad that performs well for you? I've heard selecting too many is not good because it prevents you from knowing what is working and what's not. So I don't tend to I don't run too many ads that have where I select interest. I primarily run ads to my custom audiences. So I primarily focus on driving or building the biggest audience on my Instagram and then creating lookalike audiences of those people and then retargeting my Instagram and Facebook audiences. But when I do create an audience with interest, I usually use about like five to six on average. Have you done Google product ads? I have not. I bought your ads course. Can't wait to dig in. Yes. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you have any questions. And make sure you join the Facebook group. So with my ads course, there is a Facebook group that you can join that's specifically for people who are in the ads course. So you can share, you can share your ads, you can get feedback on your ads, ask questions about what you should do about your ads, things like that. How much do you spend a day on ads? I start all my ads at $5 a day. Finally caught you on live. Hey girl, hey. How big does your customer audience need to be to start? It doesn't need to be a certain size per se. Excuse me. Your custom audiences won't start to populate until you reach 1,000. So until you reach 1,000, it will always say below 1,000. So you can gauge obviously how many people have taken a specific action or not. No, you can see how many times a specific action has taken place, but you don't ultimately know how many of those people live inside your custom audience and are able to be retargeted. So for Facebook, it will say that your audience size is still populating until you've reached 1,000, but you can still use those audiences for targeting. It's just more of a toss up as to how many of those people you're actually going to reach. You're welcome. So glad you're on live. Do you look at the click-through rates? What do you think is a good click-through rates for an ad? I honestly never look at my click-through rates. There are some people who are extremely technical with those types of things. Ultimately, I just want to know if my ad is making me money or not, or if it's driving traffic to my website or not. I want to know what my cost per result is, my cost per click, my cost per landing page view. I want to know those types of things. I don't want to look at my click-through rate. Should you wait until you start sales to start ads? Get sales? No, not necessarily. Especially if you feel like you have somewhat of an idea who you want your audience to be or who you think would resonate with your brand or actually support your brand, you can definitely run ads with the purposes of brand awareness and creating interest with people. But I definitely wouldn't run ads at the beginning of business with the hope of creating or with the hope of generating purchases, because ultimately you're still going to have to build trust with those people. So you can definitely run ads when you're not making sales to build trust, build credibility, build awareness. just joined the Ask Question, answer the questions on Facebook, but you haven't let me in the Ask group yet. Please let me in. Okay, I will. Did you just do it like just now? I can't do it right now. Well, if I'm on here. I got you though. Have you ever done anything special for SEO? I'm having trouble getting my website to show up when I search my boutique name on Google. Well, if your boutique has a really common word or name in it, that definitely could cause your boutique to not come up easily in SEO searches. But no, I just focused on like what I wanted my page title and my page titles for each page, each product on my website to be. I focused on what I wanted each meta description to be and all of that stuff. So no, I didn't do anything special. I just was intentional about the page titles and the descriptions. I look at all that. Yeah, I don't. Thanks for sharing. Is it better to promote and set a launch date or just start selling right away? I would definitely promote and set a launch date. You definitely want to build up some excitement, build up some hype. All I care about is link clicks, purchases, and purchase value. That's it. That's all. I'm like, did my bank account grow or did it just decrease in dollars? That's all I want to know. Kid you not. When do you determine that it's time to turn off an ad? How long do you give it before you turn it off for poor performance? It depends. So, for example, if I'm running an ad for the purpose of conversions, and let's say it's been 3 days and I haven't received any purchases, I'm gonna say, okay, no purchases, cool. Let me go see how many link clicks, what are my impressions, what's my reach, all of that. So I look at all of that. And then if I feel like, okay, I'm getting really good link clicks, but not conversions, I'll just edit it and make it a traffic ad. So I'll edit the objective and change the traffic from conversions. Versus if I'm like, no, I ain't getting no link clicks and no conversions, then I just turn it off. So it depends on multiple factors. Have you ever used Pinterest for business? I have not. I created a business Pinterest account, but I haven't used it. Are you entirely self-employed? I am. I have been entirely self-employed for a year and 8 months. My job closed in October of 2018, and I started my boutique in November of 2018, and I've been self-employed ever since. You're welcome, Sierra. I'm testing $100 a day tomorrow. Pray for me. I want to do it too. I thought about doing it today. I was like, I feel like I could do it. It makes my nerves real bad. But then I'd be like, Jance, you make X amount of dollars. It's going to be fine. I'd be like, it's just $100. But then I'm like, but it's $100. I want to do it too. I literally thought about it today. I created like 4 different ads. And I was like, I feel like I could just run like one ad and test it at $100 just to see how it goes. Let me know how it goes. I might do it with you. I don't know. We'll see. Lord, I'll be praying. She said she's praying for you. I did Pinterest, not good to make sales. Oh, I've heard some really good stories of people who've made sales from Pinterest. I feel like it depends on what you're selling. Like, I feel like people go to Pinterest for like inspiration, outfit inspiration, things like that. But I don't know how many people actually purchased the thing from the picture that they felt inspired by. So I don't know. I'm gonna test it out one of these days. I've done 100 Saturday up to 165 a day. Do it. Ooh, that makes me so nervous. I'm gonna try. How much do you typically spend a month on ads? It depends. Last month I spent $706. So this video was about June. In June I spent $706 and I made $12,800. I've never spent over $1,000 in a month on ads though. I'm doing horrible on Pinterest. Guys, please make sure your price are right. I shorted myself about 20,000. What? How did you do that? So if you get a good number of link clicks, would you change it or optimize for purchases? No, I would not. If I was getting link clicks, I would just keep it at link clicks. Especially if my objective was traffic, I would just leave it at traffic. I would retarget people if I noticed that, for example, let's say if I was running one ad for like 7 days, I would monitor, how many link clicks I got, but then I would also within that go into my events manager to monitor how many add to carts I received that week, how many initiated checkouts, all that other stuff. So I will be looking to see if there's something that I can pull out of that information to create a new ad for conversions. So again, you don't have to run a conversion ad to get purchases. So depending on let's say if I got a ton of add to carts in a week, then I'll be like, okay, let me retarget for conversions. And I'm going to target my people who have added to cart because I know that they're close to making a purchase. Versus if I didn't receive tons of add to carts or like events that had events that had a value associated with it, like them being close to making a purchase, then I would just run another traffic ad and retarget people who view specific content, people who added to cart, things like that. So it would depend. I would either go from a traffic ad to another traffic ad, retargeting people who took specific actions, or a traffic ad to a conversion ad based on the number of add to carts, initiated checkouts, and purchases that I received during the duration of time that I was running the traffic ad. Like I said, my friend started at 200 and is now at 750 a day. She made 20,000 a week at 200 a day. So imagine that. Good God. Oh, man. My profit was disrespectfully low. Oh, no. We got to do better. That's okay, though. It's time to pivot. Time to get it right. How many ads should you run at the same time? As many as you would like. Last month I ran 14, 15, something like that. Right now I'm running 5 ads currently. Off subject, but how much do you add to your items in order to offer free shipping? Somewhere between $5 and $7. I base the decision off of the weight. So if it's under a pound, I know I can ship it as a first class package, which costs me at the most $5.04. If it's over a pound, I know I have to ship it as a priority package, which is going to cost me about $7 to ship. Is the swipe up option considered an ad on IG? No. So you can get the swipe up option once you have a certain number of followers. If you are talking specifically about when you can link to a product from your shop, no, that doesn't count as an ad. It's just a feature that you get because you have a shopping related business. But for example, on my Jan Charté Instagram, because I have over 10,000 followers, I can create a swipe up option to any page on the internet that I would like. But that doesn't count as an ad because you don't have to pay for it. How many units of a style do you purchase? It depends on the style. If it's something that I purchased in the past or something that I know my customers will absolutely love based on something I've sold in the past, I order anywhere between 3 and 7 packs. Just depends on what it is. If it's something that I'm not 100% sure about, if I'm not sure my customers will like it, I just get one. I don't like testing my money that much. I have such a hard time figuring out what size pictures work for a Facebook ad. I would just stick with squares. That's the easiest thing to do. Stick with the 1080 by 1080. Honestly, I just use the Instagram size graphic for my Facebook ads. So I use the same size for my Facebook and my Instagram ads. Do you have a registered agent? Not like a formal one. No, my dad is my registered agent. You just need to have somebody who will accept your legal papers on your behalf, who lives in the state that your business is registered in. Which would you suggest, LLC or S Corp? I know you have them in 2 different states. So I have LLCs. Both of my businesses are LLCs, but the Boutique Academy is going to get changed to an S Corp because I make significantly more money from the Boutique Academy than I do from my boutique currently. So I'll basically get better tax breaks by being an S Corp than I will an LLC. I had a meeting with an accountant like 2 weeks ago, and basically it doesn't really make sense for me to have an S Corp for my boutique because it doesn't make that much money. And like I have tons of expenses for my boutique, the products, thank you cards, shipping supplies, all that stuff. So there's tons of things for me to write off. Versus with the Boutique Academy, there is not tons of things for me to write off because a lot of the money that I make is like pure profit. So I end up getting taxed very heavily. So for boutique, LLC is perfectly fine. Once you purchase the ads course, do we have access to the course for a lifetime? Yes, you do. When you first started, how did you market? How were your sales first month? My first month, I honestly don't remember how much money I made. And I wish I could go back and look. My website was on WordPress when I first launched. Now it's on Shopify. So I have no way to go back and look at my sales. When I first launched, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I made somewhere around like $800, $900 or something like that. I don't know. I made money my first day. People always ask me that. How long did it take for me to make my first sale? I made money my first day in business. So sales were fine. I mean, considering that I had just started, I had never owned a business before. I had no idea what the heck I was doing other than, having retail experience. It went fine. As far as marketing, I didn't do anything special. I did what everybody else does. Shared my content on Instagram, shared it on Facebook, built up my email list. I constantly encourage people to sign up for my email list. I did do a pop-up shop within a month of me launching. So I did a pop-up shop that next month, and that helped a lot to build up my following and to grow my email list a little bit. Well, ultimately, the most important thing that you can do at the beginning is be consistent. So be dedicated to creating good quality content and sharing it consistently. Don't go the generic, very short caption route. Share more information about you as the business owner, why you started, what's special about your business, what's different about your business, things like that. Got to give people a reason to stick around and shop with you versus other people. Waiting for her to get into Fashion Go. I think Rona is messing with the wait time. You can call them. Have you tried calling them to see what the holdup is? They'll talk to you. They'll tell you what the holdup is. So you use his home address? Yep, I do. I use his home address. Yes, my business is an LLC. So S Corp is when you make more money. Yep. Exactly. How did you get started on YouTube? I just started it. I was still working full time. I felt like I had some information to share. So I propped up my tripod in my office at my old job. I set up my phone and I make video. And I do it the same way today. I prop up my tripod in my phone and make a video. So I wrote out a list of topics and just started creating videos about them. Did you have your LLC when you started your boutique? Yes, I did. I had all my registrations on deck. Did you ever feel like giving up? Not really. I definitely I definitely had some times where I was super depressed, where I just didn't want to do the work at all. But no, I never felt like giving up. I definitely knew this is what I wanted to do. Will we also have access to new videos you may add in the future? Yep. They'll get automatically added in there, and you'll get a notification when the new videos get added. Yeah, you can definitely be your own register agent. Do you think customers truly care about packaging? I do not. I do not think customers they could care less. All they care about is what's inside of that package. That is it. Now, if you're like, I don't know, Tiffany and Co. or something, I'm sure they would care. But I'm selling $25 dresses and $11 bodysuits. Like, they could care less what this package looks like. Do you have any advice on how to get shipping costs down for vendors overseas? I do not. I don't have any experience working with vendors overseas. Do you have experience in thrifting? I do. My previous job, I was a store manager at a thrift business. It was a thrift store. I ran a thrift store for 2 years. If you go back and look at my old videos, all of those videos, like at the beginning of my channel, are from when I was working full time at the thrift store. I'm gonna go back, going back to YouTube. Too much money here, girl. Wait, so you have a YouTube channel? I don't make very much money from my YouTube, but I'm also not very strategic about it at all. I just post the videos. There's a lot of people who are very intentional with, placing ads and all that stuff. I'm not at all. I just be throwing the video up there and calling it a day. Do you have a favorite vendor, but don't tell us that's your gym? I do. Well, no, I don't anymore. So I used to share my favorite vendors all the time. My favorite vendor used to be this vendor called Iris. They were my favorite vendor up until recently. COVID has taken over everybody's life, which is completely understandable. But there's also a such thing as professionalism and communication, and they have completely dropped the ball. I placed an order literally a month ago now, and I've heard absolutely nothing about this order. It's literally just sitting in limbo, and I would appreciate even just an update. We're backed up. You can expect a delay of however long, things like that. They ain't told me nothing. So they used to be my favorite. They're on my crappy list right now. I like High Five. I like their stuff. It's pretty affordable. I love Zenana. I talk about them all the time. I would say those are my top three. They're really affordable. We start buying more expensive clothing and sale. I want to. So I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking because I feel like my brand now is known for affordability. So I feel like it would be pretty hard for me to start introducing some more pricier pieces. So I've been thinking about creating a whole nother brand that's more like not too pricey, but more pricey than the stuff I sell now, and kind of just a different vibe. I've been thinking about it because I always see stuff that I love, but I'm like, my customers will not buy that. They would not pay for that. What ads convert the most sales for you? How do they look? Carousel ads. So ads that you can swipe through and see the different pictures. Carousel ads perform the best for me, but nothing major about them. I always include like the images that are side by side, so not just like the image by itself, but like the same picture twice next to each other. That's what all my images look like in my ads. If you go to what's called the Facebook Ads Manager, Facebook Ads Library. Here's a little tool, a little tip. So if you go to the Facebook Ads Library, you can type in the name of any brand, and it'll show you the ads that they're running currently. So if you're ever looking for a coupon code from a brand that you love or something, go to the Facebook Ads Library and see if they're running any ads that has a coupon code. How do you make your thumbnails? If you don't mind sharing, I never can get the collages. So I use Canva, and I use an app called PhotoGrid. Same, I ordered a month ago, but then they blocked me once I canceled the order. Why? That's crazy. That makes no sense. That just pissed me off. Oh, that just annoyed me. That's amazing. You have thrifting experience. I actually really want to start a thrift reselling business, but I'm trying to see what I want to specialize in and what people are looking for online. Gotcha. I feel like it's thrifting. it's hard when you're a thrifting business, but like people will go on like eBay and Poshmark and stuff like that to buy like pre-owned stuff. But as far as like an online thrift business or like one that's marketing themselves as a thrift business, I feel like it's a hard thing. So like there's a few, I wish I could think of their names, but there's a few companies that I follow on Instagram that are essentially thrift businesses, but it's basically they don't market themselves as thrift businesses. So like they sell like not luxury, but they're like pieces that look luxury, but they're from thrift stores. So I feel like it just really comes down to how you market the business. So like the thrift store that I ran, we were a thrift store with a more like modern twist. So like we were very selective about the merchandise that we brought in. We had more like name brand, more modern everyday things like current brands versus like, vintage. We didn't accept vintagey type things. And we also accepted furniture, and we tried to accept, furniture that was in really good condition, more modern looking, things like that. So I feel like you kind of have to find your niche within the thrift community. When do you think someone should switch from sole proprietor to LLC? Um, Honestly, I don't know. I didn't start with sole proprietorship, so I am not positive. I started with being an LLC from day one. So I don't know. I don't have an answer. I started with the LLC because I started with the LLC. I just literally registered or filed to register a trademark for my boutique's name. But when I started, there were other businesses that were um called themselves Brazen Boutique. Like there was a bunch of Facebook pages, there's Instagram pages and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I feel like I need a business. Like I need to register a business. But I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to trademark this name before one of these other people do. So I don't have an answer for you, but I feel like you definitely want to get one sooner than later. So you mean open another boutique for more expensive items? Yep. I've been thinking about it. You should try a luxury statement collection. I've been thinking that too. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm scared that I'm gonna run my customers off. They're gonna be like, girl, really? How do you feel about Facebook Lives? I've heard people have had great success with Facebook Lives. I have never done a live on Facebook. I've done them on Instagram, and those have went really well. I really should try one on Facebook. I'm gonna do one. I need to try one, and then I'll make a video and tell you how it went. I placed an order on the 8th with Iris, was excited about it. I emailed them and nothing, so I emailed them to cancel my order, and they canceled it with 15 minutes of them getting the email. That's crazy. I had a vendor like that too. Who was it? No, it wasn't Capella. Who was it? I had a vendor do that too. I sent them a message, no response. Asked them to cancel it, and I don't even think it was 15 minutes. It was like instant. I was like, oh, so y'all got somebody available to push the cancel button, but nobody to respond to these emails. Okay. When do I know to increase my ad spend if I'm actually getting purchases? Oh, immediately. I mean, I feel like you definitely want to take into consideration the amount you spent versus the amount you made for sure. So like if I were, doubling, tripling the amount that I spent. So like if I made, let's say if I spent $5 and I would take into consideration my average order value. So like my average order value is typically like between $55 and $60. So if I was running an ad at $5 a day, let's say I ran it for 2 days, I've spent $10. Let's say that I made let's say I made like $180. So I'd be like, let me up this to 10 and see what's happening. So I would take into consideration my average order value. And if I feel like I am meeting or exceeding my average order value, then I would up it. If I'm like below my average order value, I'm like, no, yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. Because I don't ever want it to get to a place where I'm spending more in an attempt to make my average order value. I want to already be meeting or exceeding my average order value before I up my budget. What was the longest time you've gone without a sale? Ooh, I don't know. I know for a fact I've gone more than a week without making sales. And that's been a while, but I've definitely gone more than a week without making sales. I had a day earlier this week that I didn't make sales. I shared this with my with the girls in my program last night because one of them, she just launched and she was asking me if I had days at the beginning of my business when I didn't make money. And I was like, girl, yes. I'm like, and I still do. I think, let me see. What is today? Today is the 24th. Oh, wait, this is the Boutique Academy. Let's see. I think on like the 22nd or something like that, I ain't making no money. But and honestly, ultimately, I see the most money when I'm the most intentional. When I ain't doing nothing, I don't be making no money. I be chilling and my bank account be chilling too. So here we go. July 20th. I think that was Monday. Let's see. Yeah, Monday. On Monday, I made a whopping $0. And I ain't mad about it because I just know how much money I need to make, for the month. That's all I know. Long as I make it to that number, I am cool. I am cool. And I always monitor like, okay, am I on track to make my goal this month? If I'm not, then I'm like, okay, let me stop chilling so much and get to work. But I'm in a good place. I still got what's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30th, 31st. 7 days. I still got 7 days to make it happen, which is appropriate. I'm right on track. I'm good. Would you recommend using Shopify shipping to ship, or do you have any shipping apps you would recommend? This Shopify shipping is taking all my coins. I use Shopify shipping. So I have tried ShipStation. I tried is it called Pirate Ship or something like that? I've tried multiples. I found that sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's the same. It was just a bit much. I didn't feel like having to log into their system to print my labels. So I just decided to stick with Shopify's label situation or shipping situation. Can you tell us about paying taxes with your boutique? I watched the video you did having a vendor's license and about having a vendor's license and taxes. So I just filed my taxes for my boutique. My boutique launched at the end of 2018. So last year, 2019 was the first full year for my business. So I just filed the taxes. I just filed on July 15th. That was the first time I filed my taxes for my boutique. And it didn't go bad. So you have to file federal taxes and you also have to file state taxes. So those two things are totally separate. So depending on what state you're in, you may be required to file your taxes on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. You can do it yearly. It just depends on the state. For federal taxes, you have to pay those as well. So I currently use QuickBooks to keep track of my sales, or my income, my expenses, and all that stuff. So it tells me an estimate of how much I'm potentially going to owe for taxes. So when I went to do my taxes, for my federal taxes, it had me input my sales, my expenses, and all that stuff. So I owed like $1,000, which wasn't bad. That was manageable. So you file your state taxes with your state, your federal, you file them with the IRS. And those two numbers can look totally different. So when you're collecting tax on your orders, that money goes to it depends. So all of this depends. Don't listen to me about all of this because I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax professional. But depending on what your state is, your taxes on your orders may look different. You might have like your state tax, county tax, city tax. There could be multiple taxes there. And if I understand correctly, don't quote me. If I understand correctly, that money is the money that goes to your state if I understand correctly. So yeah, it's a bit complex. A lot of it depends on the state that you're in, and not everybody's state requires the same for filing taxes. Um, how's the quality of the cheaper vendors? It's just fine. It's definitely not like superb quality, but you've heard the statement, you get what you pay for. So like I'm trying to find something on my forward. Let's see if I got anything that didn't cost me a ton. So like these jeans, they say jeans, but they're more like pants. But these pants are from a vendor called JC and JQ. If y'all have heard of this brand called Swankaposh, I don't know if y'all have. I only know of them because I see their ads. But they sell these jeans like all the time, but they're super stretchy. So these pants cost like $10, $11, $10 or $11 or something like that. But they're really good quality, and look how much they stretch. Look at this. This is crazy. Hold on, let me pull it from here. Look at this. Look how much these jeans stretch. This is crazy. Let me pull it from the back. Look at this. That is crazy. But they're really good quality. They're high waist. So honestly, there are some really good quality cheap vendors out there. It's just definitely a toss-up. There are definitely some cheap ones that have very cheap quality. Like everything's made of polyester and very little spandex. And then there's some that are like, amazing. What about Ship Bob? I have not tried Ship Bob. I have to try it. Have you ever collaborated with other boutique owners to expand your network? I have not. I got a question for you. Have you ever worked with an influencer? If not, will you? I have not worked with an influencer for my business. I did when I worked full time. We would work with influencers. But yeah, I would work with an influencer. I would just definitely spend some time making sure I can find the right influencer. Yes, that's correct. That's what you owe the state. So put the money to the side in case you owe, depending on your gross amount made for the quarter. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. How do you handle returns? Do you have a virtual address? I have a PO box. So all my return. Well, I just started receiving returns. I had one return my whole first year of being in business. I had one return, and I didn't offer returns until earlier this year. So the one return that I had last year, I forget what the reason was. It might have been like a damage or something like that. So I just started offering returns and at the beginning of this year, and I didn't actually start receiving returns until this summer, like earlier this summer or like end of spring. So they get sent to my PO box. So like the package my husband came and put on my floor, that person sent it to my PO box. Oh no, the package that got sent back to me got sent back to my PO box. Okay, vacation, where your jeans? The jeans are from? Yeah, they're from JC and JQ. I said it. Hold on, I'll show you guys the tag. Woo. JC and JQ. That's where they're from. They come in, so those don't come number size, they come letter size. So small, medium, large, extra large. And they also don't come 2, 2, 2. They come 3, 3, 3, 3. So you get 12 in a pack. 3 of each size. Small, medium, large, extra large. Oh. Do you think I should get a PO box or just try my luck with my virtual address I have? Anytime mail. I would say stick with the virtual address. I mean, unless you get to a point where you feel like that doesn't work for you, I would say stick with the virtual address. I literally just got a PO box in the last like 3 months. Up until then, my packages had my address, my home address on them. Okay, I could have sworn my husband came in. I don't know where he went though. He MIA. All right, guys. Well, if anybody's interested in the course, I will put the link in the description. If anybody's watching this after the fact, the link will live in the description bar. And I'll put the coupon code down here too, which is July 2020. And the coupon code expires on Sunday. So you got till Sunday to use it. Thanks so much on my TV screen. So when I have to comment, I have to grab my phone up on arrivals. Oh, that's crazy. One last thing, can you do a video on how you package your orders now? Sure. I don't have much of a process, but yeah, I definitely can. Did you buy a house? Girl, no, I ain't buying no house. I don't want to live in no house. I hate living in the house. I want to live in a skyrise glass box with a swimming pool in the middle or a swimming pool on the roof. No, I didn't buy a house. I didn't. Girl, no, I'm not buying no house. If I get a house, I got to build it from the ground up because I'm picky. I need the house to look exactly how I want it to look. It looks isolated. Girl, it's in the suburbs, okay? We in the burbs. All I see is trees. Girl, that's all I see too, and I can't stand it. I can tell you were sad, so to move in your last video, so sad. I was depressed. Y'all just don't know how much I love that apartment. Like, I didn't love the building, but I loved my apartment. I love those windows. I miss those windows so much. I know those windows miss me too. And I keep telling my husband the lighting is not the same down here on the ground. We were in the air, so you know my lighting was popping for my pictures and stuff. The lighting is not the same down here on the ground. I don't like it. Will you keep this live up? Yep, I will. What made you decide to start accepting returns? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I must have randomly been feeling real nice one day or something. And I was like, let me just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I felt like having a return policy might increase my sales. Because, you know, sometimes people are like, what's your return policy? Just in case this doesn't fit. Or, you know, if it's their first time buying from you and they're still a little on the fence about it. I don't know. Maybe I wanted to provide that option. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I don't get a lot of returns. So it's not terrible. I get some here and there, but it's not too bad. Just watch your video about how to build a Shopify website and couldn't be more clear for you. Thank you, May. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad it was helpful. Where do you get your custom tags? You want a vendor tag? Nope, I leave the vendor tags in, and my tags are from a company in China called JM Label. How come you guys didn't just renew your lease? It was expensive. Not that I couldn't afford it, but it was expensive, and the parking wasn't the greatest situation. And it was downtown. It's in downtown St. Louis, so it's really loud. And the building itself is in the most inconvenient space. So I mean, coronavirus saved us from that, but the space or the building was right next to what's called the America Center. So that's where like all the events happen. That's where they have like conventions and trade shows and all types of stuff. So there would frequently be like tons of traffic and events happening. So we would be literally trapped inside the building. Like I couldn't get my car out the garage, or like it would take me forever to get on the main street, or to get from the main street to the apartment building. So the building itself was in the most inconvenient place. Oh, you're welcome, Aaliyah. Thank you. I'm trying to abandon lip gloss, but my customers love it. I know they do. Why are you trying to abandon lip gloss? Don't that lip gloss bring you a lot of money? I want to do mainly lashes. Oh, okay. Do you make more money from the lashes or more from or is it equivalent? Where do you ship your clothing items in, like a plastic bag inside of Priority? No, I ship all of my packages in poly mailers. I don't use the post office packaging at all. This is for social media ads. So you can run Instagram and Facebook ads from the same platform. If you didn't watch the video from the beginning, you should definitely watch it from the beginning so that you'll have an understanding of what the course is all about and the ad situation. Here, 3 6-hour coaching sessions to use to rebuild a website. I would like to switch from WordPress to Shopify. I just want to use. Oh yeah, definitely. You can use it for whatever you would like. You can definitely tackle that. My tags are from JM Label. I don't know for a fact if they have a website or not. I did my purchasing and my transaction at Magic last year. So that was where I found my manufacturer for my tags. Lashes make more money and less work, so I can mainly do it myself to save more money. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Flat rate shipping can be a scam. I always use your own boxes, mailers, compare prices. Definitely. When people tell me that they only use flat rate boxes, I'm like, and you are paying way too much money for that. Like, I've never used a flat rate box. The whole time I've been in business, I've never used a flat rate box. I can count on one hand how many times I've used a priority packaging of any sort. I always use a poly mailer. Always. What's the name of that vendor? Which vendor? What vendor are we talking about? Oh, I shared it. You must have missed it. It's JC and JQ. I showed everybody the tag. Can we see how your tags look? Oh, this is what my tag looks like. That's the front. This is the back. This is about how thick it is. It's a thick little card stock. And then this is the string. It has a little snap situation. So you would put it in a little hole and then it would hang like that. My first tags were from Vistaprint and they were fine. I mean, they were definitely not as good quality as these, but it got the job done. And ultimately, like I got these last year. I bought an abundance of them. So I have tons of them still left. They'll last me for a while. But I definitely don't have any intentions of like continuing to get them because this is just an added expense that nobody really cares about, honestly. So like the back of this tag has the meaning of the word brazen on it. You guys probably can't see it because it's metallic, but this could be a sticker, and a sticker would cost me significantly less probably than these tags. So I don't know. I feel like the longer that I'm in business, I keep weighing things that I think actually matter versus things that I'm like, that doesn't matter at all. Nobody cares. So like I had custom poly mailers for like 2 months earlier this year. And once they were gone, I was like, okay, I don't need those anymore. Because at the end of the day, I'm just like, people are going to throw them away. I could see if I had some type of special box that was really cute and could be like a keepsake type of thing, but it's a poly mailer. They're just gonna rip it open and throw it in the trash. And I just kept thinking about how my little investment was going in somebody's trash can. So I was like, no, I would rather use that money on buying some bomb products. So that's what I'm doing. I don't have intentions currently of investing in more custom poly mailers or anything of that sort. Now, if I were to go into like a more not affordable, more luxury or like more expensive type of brand that I felt like needed that type of branding, then I would probably consider investing in that type of stuff. But I'm like, this stuff is just, it just be adding up, and I could be buying 17 packs of t-shirts. Please custom tape. Oh yeah, I have custom tape too. I don't even be using it. Why did you decide to keep the vendor names on the items that are private label? Because it's an added expense. It's the same thing. Same with the tags and the custom bags. Nobody cares about what the inside of this tag says. All they care about is what this item is going to look like on their body. So I keep weighing the things I would want to spend my money on versus what I could spend that money on. So like, I'd rather spend that money on a course that could teach me how to make some more money than to spend it on some tags that's going to live up against somebody's back when they put this item on. People in transit get curious. Exactly, girl. I'm like, if you don't mind, can you tell us how much you usually pay for shipping? For shipping, like shipping something to the customer, or for shipping when receiving merchandise? Which shipping are we talking about? They look expensive too, better than some of those big brands. Yeah, and I mean, they weren't expensive. So let me say, these weren't expensive. I got 1,000 of them, I think. 1,000 of them for like 18 cents a piece. So that's not terrible. I got 1,000 of them. So they weren't expensive, but at the end of the day, it's like, girl, do you really need these tags? No. They look really cute when I put them on, and you know, when they open the package and the first thing they see is this. Looks real cute. But they just gonna take it off. And then it's going to go in the trash. And I'm like, ooh, my 18 cents in the trash. What do you think about hosting an in-person class or convention of some sort? I have had multiple in-person classes, and I had an entire retreat last year. I had intentions of having a retreat this year, a bigger one and a better one, but coronavirus happened, so I had to cancel it. But yeah, I love events. I've done a couple of them in Vegas, and I've done one in LA. I got some regular business cards from Mr. Print. Just add my logo. 500 for 20 works for me, right? Do you have your own labels? I do not have my own labels sewn into the clothing. I just leave the vendor's leave the vendor's tag. I run through 200 feet of branded tape a month. Good God. Is that for any course? The 25% off? Yes, it's for any course. Do you think if you create a boutique at a higher price point, will you get into packaging? Possibly. I would say probably depending on how the business is going. I probably wouldn't invest too much into it in the beginning. But down the line, yeah. What has been your biggest takeaway from running ads? Definitely to be consistent and to not rely on the ads themselves to make me money, but to rely on my business itself to make me money. So be consistent with them, read the data, but ultimately my website copy, the organization of my website, my product descriptions, things like that definitely will do the work. Open my boutique in the suburbs. I have only had one client from town purchased from because of Facebook. Thinking of closing and make it just warehouse office photo place. Can't do in my house. Oh wow, you definitely could. How long has it been? How long has it been since you opened? My tags are from a company in China called JM Label. Do you offer page audits? Yes, I do. Send me a DM or an email. I'll send you the link to sign up for one. Business trips to LA Fashion Week should be so much fun. Yes, I did one last summer and it was a blast. Me and 50 women, we went to the fashion district as a group, and it was a ton of fun. We went shopping, we went eating. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had workshops, we shopped, we ate. It's a ball. I'm definitely going to do another one just when, hopefully, when Corona dies down, dies altogether. Good God. Do I have to be on social media all the time? I'm very not into social media. Can I get by without it, or would you suggest it? I definitely would suggest being on it, but you definitely don't have to be on it all the time. There are so many apps and things like that that you can use to automate your social media content and stuff. I really stay off of social media. Honestly, the only time I get on there is like if someone tags me, or if like somebody comments on something and I feel like I need to comment back. Other than that, I'm not really on social media much. Hey, boo, I've been catching you on live. Hey, doesn't sound bad that I don't want customers in my state left out in one place. Oh, girl, no, it don't sound bad at all. I don't either. Not necessarily because of the tax, but yeah, no, I I could care less. I could care. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. I was like, I could care less if I did not receive any customers from Texas. I mean, I said Texas, from Missouri. Could not care less. 3 months. All my orders have been coming from online. Oh yeah, I would definitely convert it into a photo space, storage space, something. Definitely. Watch tomorrow, and I bought the ass course. This live has helped me tremendously. Been watching, taking notes the whole time. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations on your launch. Oh, let's go. They're closed right now. Yeah, like I had heard a good number of vendors had opened back up, but I think they're starting to close back down again. I don't have time and place to sell the clothing inventory. I'm going to give it to the Goodwill. Oh my gosh! Or post it in the group and see if somebody wants to buy it. I think there's a D-stash post at the top of the Facebook group. Post it up there and see if somebody wants to buy it from you. She said, "I'm just giving it to the Goodwill." Do you sell the phone bags as well along with your polymers? I don't think they're. I think they're just like basic plastic. Honestly, I don't think they're anything special. Let's see. But yeah, everything gets put in a plastic bag. If it's not already in a plastic bag, I just put it in a plastic bag. I don't know what these are made of, but yeah, I do use the little baggies. These are from Amazon. I know somebody's gonna ask. Amazon. These. Wait, I read that one. My phone died, so I don't know if you answered the question about your shipping costs through Shopify. Was your question about how I add or how much I add to my prices? Is that what it was? I can't remember. Let me know what the question was. How do you handle the clothing you model? Do you still resell it? It depends. If it's something that I love, then I keep it for myself. If I don't love it, I sell it. Oop, that Texas slipped out. Now you have to move here. I know. I have thought about moving there. My husband's my mother-in-law, her and her husband moved to Texas. I think the end of last year. I think it was. So she always says like, y'all need to move to Texas now, and I'm like, don't sound half bad, sis. Are they on Fashion Go? Yes, they are on Fashion Go. It's over $1,000 in inventory. I'm terrible. It's okay. Hey, Jess, I hope you enjoyed your trip. I did. Thank you. It was fun. I'm like, let me pack my bag and go back I miss it. I still have a tan. Like everything underneath here is just tan because I had on a swimsuit the whole time I was in Mexico. Starting a clothing boutique, how many pieces would you recommend starting off with? No less than 6. So at least 6 styles. Do you think I should add my shipping with my price? Depends. I mean, I wouldn't say that there's a better or best way to go about handling the shipping. Honestly, it's I would say test it out. So like when I first launched, I didn't offer free shipping. They had to pay for shipping. Then I tested out different shipping prices. So all shipping's $5, all shipping $6, all shipping $7, back down to like $6.50 or something like that. And then ultimately I went to free. So I feel like you kind of just got to test the waters to see what your customers think. Yes, how much you add? Oh, yes, I did answer. So I add between $5 and $7. Yes, we have nice high rises for you too. I know. I be looking. I be seeing them. I be like, oh, I need to be down there. Are you going to the fashion show in August or September? Nope, they're all canceled. All of the trade shows have been canceled. They're all doing like some type of virtual events now. Did you reschedule Greece? Yes, I had to. My trip to Greece was a big group trip. So it's rescheduled for May of next year now. Oh, so pissed. Whole life just ruined. Chance, you willing to offer someone from your 8-week course to come on and give a testimony on how the course helped them? I think this would be helpful for those who might want to buy. Yeah, so they're actually theirs ended this week. So I'll be collecting testimonials from them next week. But the program for the second round is already full. 30 people have already registered, so it's closed. But I will be collecting reviews from round 1 that I can add to the sales page and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely see if someone wants to come and talk about it for round 3, because round 2 is closed. I feel like so many of my Facebook friends now sell clothes or have a boutique. Girl, you and me both. I was talking about this on live or on Facebook, on Instagram, somewhere. But I was saying, like, I am so tired of people just popping up with boutiques. And not even popping up with boutiques, popping up with a situation that they're calling a boutique. I am sick of it. I have literally watched so many people go from posting their regular, schmegular, degular posts every day, and then all of a sudden they drop 17 photos back to back of them selling some merchandise that they got from AliExpress. And I'm like, oh. And then they give it a name. They're like Nini's, Nana's, Baba's Boutique. And I'm like, oh, I hate it. It's getting on my nerves. Get August 3rd, hurry up. I'm fiending to start the program. Oh my God, you're thirsty. Listen, I just need this 1 week. This is my break. This is my 1 week little break, and then we in there. And you get to ask all the questions. When is the next program? It opens every 8 weeks. So this one starts August 3rd, and it goes until the end of September. So the next one will open the beginning of October. Do you ship international? What are your rates? So I have only shipped one package international. So I do offer international shipping, but I very rarely get international packages. I don't have a flat rate. I have it set up in Shopify where it'll automatically calculate their shipping based on the distance from my address to their address plus like $10. So you can input in the back end of your website, well, depending on what platform you use. You can set up how you want your shipping to be calculated for international orders. I need to add a lamp over here or something. I'm tired of looking dark. I'm volunteering to talk about it for round 4. All right, I'm gonna make a note of that. Corinne is going to make a testimonial for round 4. What's your opinion on Jackie? AKG Monet, her brand, her boutique and her brand. I like Jackie. I feel like Jackie has one of those personalities that you either really love or you're going to be like, this is a bit much for me. So I like people like that. I like people who are just authentic to themselves. And I think it works really well for some people, whereas some other people are completely themselves and they're also completely assholes. So I like Jackie. Me and Jackie, we did a segment together for the Boutique Hub's virtual retail summit. I think that was what it was called, a virtual retail summit. So that was our first time meeting one another. We haven't like met in person, but I like her. I think she's cool. We're about the same age. She's been in business obviously a lot longer and has accomplished a lot more. But yeah, I like her. I watch her videos all the time. I purchased clothes mid last year, but haven't started yet. Felt I wasn't ready, so now I'm ready. Those clothes are out of style now. Well, you won't know until you try. I would say try it, well, depending on what it is, style it in a way that hopefully it resonates with somebody today. So style it with something that is current, something that's on trend, something like that. Oh, girl, I had to come back for this. Oh my gosh, yes, that's why I posted that post in the boutique success about branding. You can tell people are just throwing stuff together just for the money. They are throwing things together, and I want to report all of their pages. I be wanting to report everybody. Really thirsty, I procrastinating, but need all the help I can get. You crack me up. Listen, I'm gonna be on you like white on rice. Oh man. Girl, you hit the nail on the head with the stuff from AliExpress. Like, oh my gosh. Yes, they be pissing me off. Like, and it's from AliExpress because they use all of those pictures. You know how the vendors on AliExpress will just take a picture from a boutique owner's page and they don't know no better because they don't follow none of the boutiques, none of the established ones. So they think that's the model. And that's the picture they use. And I'm like, girl, go on somewhere. Getting on my nerve. Who's Jackie? She has she has a boutique. But she also has a YouTube channel. If you look it up, I think her name on YouTube is Jackie. No, look up Gia Monet. I think that's the name of her boutique. Right, other boutique photos, exactly. Is 18-inch ring light good for a full body photo or just headshots? I don't personally know. I don't use a ring light ever. I have one and I never have used it. I feel like it would be better for like your headshots because it's round. It doesn't cover the whole body. So it's not like light that's shining on your whole body. So I feel like the light would be uneven. That's what I feel like. But I might be wrong. Somebody correct us in the comments if that's the case. But I feel like it would be more appropriate for like headshots. How do you source good quality pieces? Are you able to get samples from vendors? Not really, unless you're shopping with like a vendor from like China, then you might be able to get samples, but not a lot of these vendors don't offer samples unless you're like a top customer spending tons of money or something like that, and you're trying to test out something and you purchased from them in the past or something, then they'll probably make accommodations. But no, you risk it. That's really what it is. You risk it, or you take a trip to a trade show or a fashion district to see the quality in person before taking the plunge and purchasing. Those are the only ways. You either risk it and buy it online, or you take a trip to see it in person. Watching for a year, my first live catch. Hey, I make jewelry and I've learned a lot about social media from you. I'm grateful. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to help. At what point did you feel comfortable enough to start coaching? Teaching is something I want to offer in the future as well. So, funny story, if none of you know this, I started coaching before I had a boutique. I've worked in retail for over a decade. So when I started my YouTube channel, I did not have a boutique yet. I was still working full time. I was still on somebody's payroll. I was running a business for somebody else. So I started a YouTube channel to share everything that I had learned throughout my experience of working for someone else. So through that content, people started asking me for help regularly. And then I was helping people for free. And then people randomly started offering to pay me. They were like, hi, do you offer coaching services? And I was like, I don't, but I can. So I created coaching services. So I don't really feel like I got to a point per se where I felt comfortable. It just kind of fell into my lap because I was providing information that people wanted. So honestly, I mean, if you got some information that you could share with somebody, go for it. You never know. Who did you purchase a virtual address through? I didn't purchase. I have a PO box from the post office. Me too. Report. But then they will think we hating, right? Boss Mama. Oh yeah, her name's Boss Mama Jackie. Yeah, that's her name on here. I'm so scared to launch, and I've been buying inventory, but I just stopped because everything seems to be sold out or on pre-order till September. There's a lot of things that are on pre-order, but also it's a I don't know what word to use, but they play favoritism. So there's a lot of boutique owners who get first dibs on things that a lot of other boutique owners don't ever know exist or never even get to see. And that's because those people spend so much money with them that they will show them something that is in production before it's even made. And then once it's made, it goes directly to them. So sometimes it's not even a matter of everything being pre-order. It's just a matter of us not knowing that all this other stuff exists because we didn't get the chance to buy it. So hopefully, prayerfully, life goes back to normal and you can go to the fashion district and trade shows and stuff like that. But I always encourage people to find a way to get in contact with these vendors and get their contact information so that you can communicate via WhatsApp and email and stuff like that. So you can communicate directly with a person versus having to wait till things are uploaded online. So like I have contacts for some of my favorite vendors that I shop with, and they send me pictures of stuff before it gets added to the website. So I get to buy my little however many packs before it gets added to Fashion Go and LA Showroom and all that stuff. So yeah, I know what you mean though. I feel like I threw everything together to rush my business, but now I feel like I have to put everything on pause and play catch up. It's okay. I talk to plenty of people who feel that way. I feel like for any business, especially if you don't come from like a business type of home or entrepreneurial home, we all are just figuring it out as we go. So I feel like more people than not get to a point where they feel like they completely messed up or everything is going absolutely terribly wrong, and they want to just completely gut the business and start it over. So don't feel bad. It happens. With all the heads cut off, right? I have this retargeting ad I've been running for a while now. I get a lot of link clicks and a lot of content views, few ads to cards, and very few purchases. Do you think I should turn it off? Depends. Do you feel like you can dig deeper into that ad? Like what placements did you choose for the ad? Like what platforms it's running on? What audience are you running it to? Do you feel like there's things within that you could probably narrow down? And then also, do you feel like you could probably maybe change the copy? Do you feel like you could add an incentive, like offer a discount to make a purchase, anything like that? Or do you not want to offer a discount at all? Sometimes there's things that we can do to increase the likelihood of people making a purchase. So you can use that light now so you won't look dark. Just suggesting you right. You are totally right. I need to find it though. I have so many things still packed up. I have no idea where it is. Is it in this closet? I don't know. Let's see. Nope. You're right. That was clever. You smart. I need to remember that. When I get off of here, I need to go find that so I can have it sitting right here to use the next time. You're welcome. 2 soft boxes. Yes. Yes for the suggestions. Um, yeah, she's about first I was like boring, but now you can't keep me off your page. You were talking like, oh, you thought I was boring? I'm cracking up. Fashion district in Chicago is open. So, okay, when I hear people say that there's a fashion district in Chicago, I'm like, what does that consist of? Like how many vendors are there? Because I don't live too far from Chicago. So, you know, where's that at? Let me know. Really feel like I can't focus because I work a full-time job. I can't quit just yet, but it makes me feel stuck and inconsistent. I feel that when I started planning for my boutique, I was still working full-time. So I just literally was intentional about how I use my time when I had free time. So like on my lunch break, I had not an office job, but kind of an office job. So like if I didn't have nothing to do at work, I was working on my business. When I got home from work, I made sure I dedicated a certain amount of time to my business. And then I also tried to be intentional about what I was doing with that time. So instead of just being like, I'm working on my business tonight from 5 to 7, I was like, I'm ordering merchandise tonight from 5 to 7, or I am naming all of these items from 5 to 7. I'm going to price all of these items from 7 to 9 or whatever like that. Excuse me. So I know it's hard, but the more intentional that you are with your time, the easier that it will be. Mm, 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 mm. Can I get an EIN before LLC? My business name is available. I'm just ready to look at inventory. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I'm not sure. Thank you for sharing everything with everyone. In person, same thing. So much appreciated. Oh, my pleasure. I love it. Signing off. Bye, y'all. Bye, Amber. Don't give us a good will. You might be cracking me up. I be scrolling too far. Where'd you get your desk chair? My desk chair is from Home Goods. Y'all got Home Goods where y'all at? It's from Home Goods. I changed the image 3 times so far. Left a lot, but haven't offered a discount yet, so I'll try that. Thank you. You're welcome. And don't feel like you got to make it a big discount. And I don't know what the copy says, but if I'm retargeting somebody, I always make it a point to say something that lets them know that I know that they were somewhere. So I'm like, hey, thanks for checking us out on Instagram, or hey, thanks for checking out our website, or hey, thanks for checking out whatever products, things like that. And then sometimes I'll say like, let me know if you have any questions, or comment below if you have any questions about whatever. Mm-mm-mm-mm. If I remember before your boutique level out, you were sitting in the store like, I'm still in here. People started coming in right before close. I forgot the name of the video. I used to be so pissed. Oh my God. And people always ask me if I think I'll open a brick and mortar. And I keep saying the more I think about it, the more I'm like, absolutely not. I don't think I will. Y'all got 39 orders to pack. I'm going to pack some before I go to sleep. Maybe. We'll see. I worry about having too many sales. People start waiting to purchase until the next sale. Thoughts? Definitely. I have definitely strayed away from running sales. I only run a sale when I'm either like behind on sales, or I am like trying to increase my average order value. So like, for example, I ran a sale on last Saturday or last Sunday, and it was for 2 hours, and it was for people who had purchased from me in the past. So not for everybody. And they had to spend $100 to get 50% off. So I wanted every order to be at least $50. So yeah, I've definitely strayed away from doing too many sales because people will definitely wait until you have a sale. And I put more focus on allowing them to get to know me and my brand better. So I've been very intentional about creating content that I feel shows more of my brand's personality, and hopefully resonating with my audience versus putting so much focus on like the products themselves all the time. And I've started talking a lot more from a first person standpoint versus a third person standpoint. So I say like I a lot versus we, things of that nature. Who is Jackie? The name of Jackie's boutique is Gia Monet. Not you thinking she was bored. How many times a week should you have to around small boutique? Not like you yet. I wouldn't say that you necessarily have to have new arrivals every week because think about it. At the beginning stages of your boutique, your biggest goal should be to get your brand in front of more eyes. So if anything, you should be more worried about whether or not you're getting in front of more people on a weekly basis rather than if you're getting new arrivals every single week. So for example, if I had the same items for 4 weeks straight, as long as my audience was growing for 4 weeks straight, I would be absolutely okay with that because I know that I'm regularly bringing new people into knowledge of my brand who are seeing this merchandise for the first time. So I don't necessarily feel like you need to have new arrivals every single week. I buy new arrivals whenever I know I can afford to buy them, and because I know that the flow of my inventory or the levels of my inventory is changing. So like I don't want any of the pages to look completely empty. I don't want everything to look sold out, things like that. So yeah, there's nothing in Chicago that good shop up there, but there's not like Splashy Go. Yeah, I didn't think so. It's the start of baby girl clothing store from newborn to 2 years, and it's just not what pieces to start on. Baby clothes so complex, like onesie dresses. I have no idea. I have no children, so I have no knowledge of children's clothing at all. People always ask me if I can help them with their children's business, and I'm like, I can attempt, but I have no knowledge of what parents would like, what children would be best, what would be best for a child. I have no idea. I am so sorry. I will have a baby one of these days though, and hopefully I can provide more information. Aren't you sick of people opening a boutique with other people's pics and they're actually caking it? I am so pissed. So somebody actually shared, I don't know if I can find it. Somebody shared a post inside of my Facebook group the other day of a company that is using my picture for an ad. This is the second time that this company has used my picture. The first time they used my content was a video. They took an entire video from my Instagram and ran it as an ad. They're based in Australia, first of all. In the video, this is the part that really killed me. In the video, I say, hey, it's Jan Charte from Brazen Boutique. And they're just running the ad as if it's theirs. They got people commenting galore, like, do y'all ship to wherever? How much is this? How much is your shipping? Like all these people just ready to shop. And I'm like, wow, did y'all even watch the video? Did y'all even hear me say the name of my business? It don't even match. It's not even close. So this time they're running an ad with my picture, but with a very similar text. So they kept the name of my product. So I have this legging set on my website called the Classy Bougie Legging Set. So they took the name and they took a few of the qualities that I use to describe the legging set, and then they just added a few of their words. I said, wow, how original. I'm like, that's crazy. Like y'all got all this money to run ads using other people's content, but y'all ain't got no money to create your own content. That's crazy. It pisses me off so badly. And like in my heart, I be wanting to file all types of lawsuits and shame them for messing with my copyrights and all that stuff. But I'm like, it ain't even worth it. It's not. Like I could just, it's just, makes me so mad. Makes me so mad. I bought a few of your courses and watched so many of your YouTube videos. You helped me in so many ways. I'm launching in 3 weeks and I'm scared but excited. I just need to get your ads course now. Yes, scared but excited is good. I like those feelings. You're welcome, Jasmine. Any input on Afterpay? I love Afterpay. I use Afterpay. I love it. Never had any issues. Lots of customers use it. Very seamless. They gave me instructions on how to install it. Once it's installed, the people have the option to choose Afterpay at checkout. And then once they pay, they sign a agreement with Afterpay that they will pay their money on whatever schedule. So they have an agreement with Afterpay, and you ain't got to deal with them no more. So then Afterpay sends you your money within like 48 hours, and then you move on with your life. I love Afterpay. Your Shopify, did you buy a template? I love your layout. Thank you. Yes, I bought a template. I did not buy it from Shopify though. I bought it from a company called themeforest.net. I believe you have to have an LLC before you get an EIN because you need the documentation for filing process. I think the IRS requires it. Good to know. Stay on live while you pack some. OMG. How do you plan? Well, I would, but all the merchandise is in another room. I have an entire room for merchandise now. So I'll be walking back and forth the whole time. How do you plan for the upcoming season, especially now in times of uncertainty? I mean, I'm still planning as normal. So I'm still setting goals. I'm still looking at my sales from last year versus this year. Setting a goal. I'm still buying like normal. So, I mean, granted, the weather is funky, but now I'm at the point where I have an idea of where the majority of my customers live, in what region. So like a lot of my customers are not in the Midwest. I live in the Midwest. Here in the Midwest, we go through all the seasons. We have a spring, we have a summer, we have a fall, we have a winter. Lots of my customers are in the South. They're in hot states. So I know that I can still buy a lot of hot stuff, even when we're getting into like, the fall, closer to the winter, stuff like that. So I keep it the same. Use one eye more often. Yeah, try it out. Yeah, I've noticed that I'm like, where the good stuff? Yep. I'm just trying to define my target audience. I feel like I'm marketing to the wrong girl. That happens. I mean, I feel like I learned who my audience was over time, for sure. When I first launched, I thought it was one group. Now it's a totally different group of people. The key is to monitor who actually supports you versus who doesn't support you. I've been WhatsApp him and getting munchies. I feel that's better. Yep, definitely. How many times a week should you announce new arrivals? Not a certain number of times. Sometimes I launch new arrivals 4 times. Sometimes I launch them 1 time. Sometimes no new arrivals this week. How do you feel about selling shoes? I think shoes works well for a lot of people. I don't think I would ever purchase shoes, but I think it works well for some people. Wow, are you serious? Yep. You're popping. That's an international lawsuit. Girl, I know. I be looking at all these laws and stuff like that. I'm just like, ugh, this is annoying. You know the name of the company, I will definitely say something. That is not right at all. You work too hard. Girl, listen, every time. So they use so many boutique owners' photos. And anytime somebody comments on the photo and tags like whose boutique it actually is, or if they tag the person, they completely block the person that commented. It's crazy. Yeah, Afterpay takes a percentage of your sales. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it's not so huge that I notice it. You put them in Shopify. If they're on Shopify, they will get shut down. Yes, I know that. They're not on Shopify though, unfortunately. Girl, half the group copy you. I know. Listen, so this is a funny story. There's I don't go inside my Facebook group. Y'all, people have heard me say this all the time. I don't go inside my Facebook group a lot because half of the group knows who I am and half the group has absolutely no idea who I am. So like somebody will say my name, they'll be like, "Oh, Jance has a video about that on her YouTube channel," and they're like, "Who the heck is Jance?" And then I have like the people who have absolutely no idea who I am. So like if I share a post about some information that I know would be helpful to them, there's always somebody that comments and you know has a rebuttal, says absolutely the opposite thing, tells me that I don't know, you know, I don't know. They just have words to say. They be like, "Who are you to tell anybody da da da?" I be like, I'm gonna just chill. Oh my God, I can't stand my Facebook group. Oh my goodness. What do you use for inventory management? I use Shopify. Shopify manages all my inventory for me. And I use an app called Delirious Profit, which keeps track of like my profits by way of inventory. So it tells me how much my inventory is valued at. I can see like per category what my inventory is valued at, things like that. How soon should you repurchase inventory for no robs if if your store hasn't sold anything yet? That's a good question. I honestly wouldn't say that there is a time frame. I would say it depends on whether or not you believe you can afford to do so. But also you want to make sure I wouldn't recommend purchasing new stuff until you figured out how to sell it in the first place. So I would say if you feel like you haven't really grasped what it takes to make sales, then I wouldn't recommend buying anything. I would 100% recommend if anybody feels like they are struggling to sell, if they haven't made a sale and they're like, I'm about to just go buy some new merchandise and see if it's just my merchandise, I would say don't do it and invest in a coach. Invest in somebody who can share information with you about how to improve your marketing so that you can sell the things that you already have before you add more stuff that you might not be able to sell as well. Do you have to meet certain dollar amounts in sales before you are eligible to use Afterpay? I'm not sure. I got Afterpay, I think at the end of last year, I think. So I'm not 100% sure. It cracks me up when people don't know who you are. I just be like, why are you here then? I be cracking up. It's because Facebook has, like you can type in any word in the search bar and it'll show you any group that has that word in it. So like if they type in boutique, it's going to show them every group on Facebook that has the word boutique in it. I be cracking up. I'll be like, I ain't nobody, don't worry. I literally made a post today. I frequently will reintroduce myself. I made a post today. I was like, hey, I'm Jance, the person that created this group, just in case you didn't know. And I was like, some people might know me from YouTube. Some of y'all might absolutely not care who the heck I am, which is fine. But you're going to care about the information below this message. So just keep reading. Because some of them be like, girl, I don't care. It'd be so funny. Sounds like they're trying to come off as a Black-owned business. Oh, they are. They really are. So there's tons of comments where people ask, are you Black-owned? And they say yes. But we absolutely have no idea. We don't know who owns this business. They're just using a whole bunch of Black-owned businesses content. I should make a post about them on my Instagram and then just tell everybody to share it. We're gonna see. We have to check a few of them. The name of the company is Theme Forest, like the forest where there's trees. Themeforest.net. I'm professional if I have to do this. I know, right? But you see your face and name right there, right? So businesses are trying to be Black now. Wow, the new Blackface, right? It's crazy. Like, and obviously they're in Australia. So like, I don't know how I can go about, finding them. Hold on, I'm about to see if I can find. I think I screenshotted what the name of the business is. Let's see. Screenshot. Did I do it in this phone? I did. I'm gonna put the name of this company in the chat box. Milan Choice Designer Fashion. I'm like, they got my whole face clean as day. Like they don't even crop nobody's face out or nothing. And it's crazy because I be like, I've only been in business for a year and a half. So I'm like, I don't have that much of an established business. They using like established business owners' photos. So I'm like, how do these people in the comments not know who this person is? I'd be confused. The same thing. It's a lot of businesses sell black items but are not black owned, weird, but acting like they are black owned. Yeah, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, but there's a few vendors on Fashion Go that are randomly selling like things that have BLM, Black Lives Matters, all types of things on the front. And I'm like, that's cute, but that ain't cute though. Because y'all only selling it because it's a thing right now. And I don't really like it. I don't like it. You would have thought black people are the chosen people or something. Okay, right? What apps do you use on Shopify and for what purposes? I only have 4 apps on my Shopify. I have an app called Back in Stock, which allows people to sign up for restock alerts. I have an app called Delirious Profit, which helps me to see my profit margins and my inventory value. I have SMS Bump, which is for text message marketing. And I have Constant Cart, I think it's called, which is for abandoned cart sequences. So you can set up like multiple abandoned carts, emails and text messages and stuff. That's it. Your 8-week courses book. Are there any other courses you recommend in the meantime? Not that are as extensive as the 8-week course. If anything, I would recommend one-on-one coaching in replace of the 8-week course. Obviously, the difference is you get one-on-one coaching versus the 8-week course is group coaching. So that would be the only equivalent alternative that I would suggest. I hate when I be messing my words up. Yeah, so that I'm Fashion Go and I immediately clicked another vendor. It makes me so upset, right? Is it black? Is it trend? Exactly. There are a ton of business selling BLM merch just to make money. There are YouTube videos that encourage you. Really? Oh no, I don't like that. I do not like that. They stole from Tink as well. If you guys report theft, it will be suspended. I'm gonna report these people because I am annoyed. Oh, I didn't show y'all. Hold on. Look. So this is the ad. That's me, and that's their ad. I'm like, really. Took my whole situation. Have you ever had membership with the Boutique Hub? If so, how do you like it? Is it worth money? I have never had membership with the Boutique Hub. I don't personally feel like I need boutique training. Therefore, I've never invested in anyone's boutique courses or programs. So I have no knowledge of anybody else's programs. They're very nice people. That's all I have for you. I will say I don't see a good enough representation of Black women or women of color. So that doesn't sit well with me. But as far as people, I think they're cool. And I think the content that they share is cool. But I would like to see a better representation of women of color. How do you think you were so successful in just a year and a half? Honestly, consistency. I'm very what's the word? I'm very disciplined. So I am pretty good with my money. I know when to step back and invest in further learning versus attempting to see a result that I haven't seen thus far. So like, for example, when I am looking for, new vendors and things like that, in my head, it makes more sense for me to invest in a trip to the fashion district to discover all those vendors and make sure that I can make the best future buying decisions versus taking a bunch of risks buying from a bunch of new vendors on like Fashion Go LA showroom to see if I can, get some good vendors. So I've been very good. I think I've been very good with my decision making and deciding the best decisions for my business and for spending my money and investing it wisely. I have retail experience, so I definitely have a sense of selling and, building clientele, but it's definitely a different ballpark when you're talking like in person versus online. So I feel like I had things that I could apply to my business, but definitely still had to find my space in the online realm. So I think I was just really good at making decisions. I've always been very creative, so I think I do a good job with content creation and making sure my content, my social media content looks good. I don't think I ever went through a phase where my content looked bad per se. So I definitely think I do a pretty good job with making sure that that my business looks presentable and professional online. I've always been that way from like day one. I was very dedicated to making sure that my business looked as professional as possible. And I never wanted it to look like I was a beginner. That was, I think, definitely a key. Alibaba has Black Lives Matter t-shirts too and Rip John Lewis t-shirts. Wow, that's crazy. Smooth stole your pick. Okay, they stole pics, they stole videos. It's crazy. I just was gonna say that, right? Exactly. Yeah, I can't support too many businesses when I don't see no representation of myself. When I get money unless I see consistent representation of us, right? I know you spoke recently about signing up for $10,000 coaching. Has it started yet? If so, how's it going? Yes. So I'm currently in a program that costs $10,000. Yeah, it started. So it started in March. So I invested in it in February. And it's supposed to be over in October, but she's extending it for us. We obviously have to pay for it, but she's extending it, so I'll be paying more than $10 for it at $10,000 for it at this point. But yes, I invested in a $10,000 program, and it's going very well. It's not for boutique related things. It's for more like coaching and like improving my coaching business and like for like my 8-week program. So it helped me to structure a program that I could provide. More advanced learning, a more advanced learning setting versus, my YouTube videos, which I can only share so much in a YouTube video. And obviously I can't impact every single subscriber through a video on YouTube. So the program I'm in costs $10,000. It's for women who are coaches and who want to expand their businesses through group coaching settings and like advanced learning settings and things like that. So it's going really well. I made my $10,000 investment back many times over at this point. So it's going well. Yeah. Do you connect your MailerLite to Shopify? I use MailerLite, but I'm wondering is there a way to download the app on Shopify? Yeah, my MailerLite is connected to Shopify. So I have the app downloaded and I put my API key into it. So my pop-up from MailerLite shows up on my Shopify website so that it automatically gets transferred over to MailerLite. I'm gonna be like, I'm on a Facebook group. Have you thought about doing TikTok for advertising? I have a few. I think I have like 4 videos on my TikTok. I have a TikTok. I haven't made any videos in a while, but I have tested it out. Let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 videos on TikTok. Who takes your pics? Hire a photographer. My husband takes my pictures. So when I take my pictures in the house, I take them. When my pictures are outside, my husband takes them. What is the difference between LA showroom versus Fashion Go? Nothing. They're the exact same. They're just formatted differently. I feel like Fashion Go is a bit more organized than LA showroom is personally, but they have like different ways of navigating their websites. Both have vendors on their platform that the other might not have. So I think it's beneficial to have an account on both, but essentially they're the exact same thing. I just implemented something you said during this live stream and got a sale, girl. You're true. What? That's crazy. Congratulations. Wow. What can they do if Black women aren't signing up? We Blacks tend to have a segregation mentality sometimes, so send mixed singles sometimes. Well, no, see, you ain't asked me, but I'm an answer. So a lot of these businesses, especially coaching businesses and things like that, a lot of them use stock photography, and I know for a fact that they do have Black women who have signed up for their program. I've seen them comment and say, I went through this program and it was great. But as far as the representation that they choose to place on their social media platforms, they don't put it there. So it for us, it makes it look like they don't serve us. And it makes it hard for us to decide like this would be a brand that would be best for us to invest our money in. And also, a lot of Black people have the mentality of just wanting to shop Black, support Black, and things of that nature. So I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, but it makes it hard for you to associate yourself with a brand when it's not, it doesn't appear to be diverse. It visually appears to be for one type of person, not for all persons. That would be my take on it. Can you talk more about consistency and discipline? Well, what do you mean? What do you want to know? I mean, ultimately, I just mean putting myself on a schedule. So like I work from these times to these times. I'm going to work on these things from these times or on these specific days. And I stick to it. So discipline. A lot of people will say, well, I have a schedule, but my friend asked me to do whatever, or I was supposed to do it today, but I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll add some extra time. I'm like, no, if I'm supposed to do it today, I'm gonna do it today. If I'm supposed to work on this today, that's what I'm gonna work on. So I feel like it takes a certain mindset, definitely, to put yourself in a place where you can consistently do something that you said you were gonna do and be disciplined about it. Hey, Amber. And the Black people purchase and never get their shipments. Right. How long do you take to market and brand your business before launching to have potential customers eager to buy and support you? I think I did about a month, I think. Who is this 10,000 course buy? My coach is called, her name, I say my coach is called. My coach, her name is Maya Elias. Thank you for giving so much info. People always ask me for advice on boutique info and small business owners. Send them right to your page. I'm signing up. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Amber. You're welcome. How does your ads course break down? So my ads course is divided into multiple modules that have individual lessons. So there are probably like over 30 videos in there at this point. Most of them are literally me walking you through creating the ads or like navigating the Facebook Ads Manager, understanding the data and the analytics and all of that good stuff. There's a few that are like slideshows of me explaining things that you need to know prior to or during the process of you running ads, but the majority of it is me walking you through visually how to execute creating ads. But it's broken down by like topic per se, individual lessons versus like one long video. Bye, Rebecca. On Fashion Go, I don't know who to shop with. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. I don't tend to click on individual vendors. I tend to just go to the new tab every single day and I just look through, the individual styles and our favorite styles that I like. And then at the end of the day, I go back and look at all of my favorites and then If it's one that I'm like, I really like this one, I'll click on the vendor that item is by and see if they have any other styles that I think I might like. I'm trying to figure out how y'all kept me on here for a whole extra hour after I said I was leaving. Do you think you would ever charge $10,000 for coaching services? You know what? I don't know, because I didn't ever think I would charge $1,000 for a coaching service. So after I got to her, and I think honestly, I don't know, maybe I think prior to me going going through her program, before I signed up for her program, I went to an event that she had in Atlanta. And prior to that, I was selling, the same courses that I have now. So they were, $60, $75, $100, whatever, same courses. But I was frequently running sales on them, kind of like what people do with their boutiques. They run a sale on them because they think they can sell more if they put them on sale. And they feel like if they have the lower prices that people will buy them and all that whatnot. And that wasn't the case. So I really sat down, and she made me sit down and think about the value that I provide. She literally told me, I kid you not, she was like, Jance, you're really humble, and that's great, but you're way too humble. And I was like, but what does that mean? And so basically it was it wasn't to say that I needed to come off as overly cocky, but I needed to be more confident in the knowledge that I had and more confident in the abilities that I had. And so before, I was very mellow about the services that I could provide or the type of help that I could provide to people. And, I would just say, I have this course and it costs this amount and I got a coupon code that you can use, instead of it being I have this course that can help you to acquire this or that. I have this course that can help you to get to this point, or leading with, what I have helped other people to do in their businesses and things like that. So if you go back and look at my even if you go back and look at my Instagram content, before, I would share just, random things here and there. I would promote the course itself. I would talk about the price and things like that. The stuff that I tell y'all not to do with y'all boutiques. I would do that with my courses and stuff. And I would lead with the price, lead with that type of stuff. And I assumed that that's what I should do because I wanted to help people. And I felt like I would help them most if I gave them the lowest priced whatever. And so she was like, but what if you led with the value that you could provide? What if you led with what you can help them to achieve in their business? And I was like, okay, I can do that. But why do I have to make it $1,000? And she was like, you don't, but you could make $1,000 from doing that. And I was like, I could. So it was more so a mindset thing. And I was like, I could charge $1,000. And then also I was like, okay, I sat down and considered all of the work that I put into my coaching sessions, me planning how I want it to go, me taking the time to research these people's businesses prior to our calls and coming up with plans prior to the call. And then I was sitting down with these people for 3 hours, 6 hours, all of that stuff. And then after the call, I was sending follow-up emails. I was sending them a whole report of my notes and recommendations after the call. I was doing a whole lot of work for a very small price. And I was like, no, this definitely worth $1,000. So to answer your question with my very long-winded question, maybe, I don't know. Her program, so it's $10,000, but we are getting a ton of information for $10,000. So not only do we get information from her, but she also is bringing in industry professionals that are in different industries. So we've had a person come in who is in finance. He's a financial advisor. So he talked to us about investments and stocks and all this other confusing stuff that I have absolutely no idea about. We've had accountants come in. We've had people who are just life coaches and all this stuff. So it's worth $10,000 in my opinion, because obviously I could go work with individual people who could help me with finance and accounting and all of this stuff. But she's bringing all those people to us. And yeah, so I think it's more about the value that you convince yourself that you, not convince yourself, but that you can convince your audience that you provide through whatever it is that you're providing. And it's the same with your boutique and your clothing or whatever products that you sell. You have to convince them that there's value in what you are providing to them and that it's worth the price that you're telling them that it's worth. So like when I was like, "Oh, we're gonna make this program $1,000, Maya," and she was like, "Yes," and then we're gonna make it more than $1,000, and I was like, "Oh, girl." But now I'm like, yeah, I can see that now, especially now that I've been through the program, the 8 weeks. I was like, oh, that was definitely worth more than $1,000. It was a lot of work. Like this, like what I'm doing right now with y'all is what I was doing with them once a week for 8 weeks straight. We would sit on a call and I would answer questions for hours. I was like, oh my God. I charge these people $1,000 and they getting 87,000 hours of my time. This is crazy. Hi, Jan's first time in your live expensive item. Is it difficult to reach people online? You're a really good coach. Oh, thank you. Thanks for your knowledge. My pleasure. No, I wouldn't say it's difficult if you sell expensive items, because at the end of the day, it's about finding the audience of people who would be willing to pay whatever it is that you want them to pay. Like there's somebody out there, I always say there's somebody out there who will buy a $25 t-shirt and think that that's extremely affordable. And then there's somebody out there who is like, I would never pay $25 for a t-shirt. I would pay $9. That's as high as I would pay. So it's really about finding the right people who would buy whatever it is that you're selling at the price that you're selling it for. Can you please do a video on how to make your IG post shoppable, basically a view shop option? I could definitely try. I mean, there isn't much to the process. I always hear people say that they have an issue with it, but I can definitely make a video about it. I agree with mine. Now look at you. Ha ha ha. Where can I find all your courses? Let me put the link in the thingy for you. If you find one you like, use code July 2020 for 25% off. Y'all have legit kept me on here for almost an extra hour and a half. This is crazy. This is crazy. Now I got to go remember to turn the monetization on for this video. Pay me a coin, YouTube. Pay me $1 or something. Y'all see my mom? Well, no, obviously my mom's not here. My mom moved a portion of my couch into my office. So this over here is a portion of my sectional. She was like, how about you move it into your office? I'm like, sure, why not? All right, guys. Well, I feel like I should go find some food. I feel like I say that at the end of every one of these videos. But I feel like I should go find some food. I ate some noodles right before I got on here. That doesn't really count as a meal though. So I feel like I need to go eat a real meal. So that's what I'm going to do. If y'all just hopped on, make sure y'all watch this video from the beginning because there are some gems at the beginning. I was given all the tea, okay? But no, seriously, on a serious note, definitely watch this video from the beginning because it's some really good information. I talk all about the ads and all that good stuff. All about, making sure that you understand how to run the ads before you give Facebook your money and then blame Facebook for not doing it right. Make sure you watch from the beginning. Take some notes. Let me know if you have any questions. Put your questions in the comments if you have questions as you're going back through the video. And I'll be happy to answer. Oh, you can see me with a $10,000 coaching service. Oh, I receive it. Yes. I'm going to make a video next week about the money that I made this week. Because this is the most money. The money that I made this week is the most money that I've ever made in my life in a week. Actually, I made it in like 3 days. And I was like, this is crazy. I told my mom I'm going to buy a car and I want to pay for it cash. We'll see. If I do buy a car and I buy it cash, I'll vlog it. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. And again, let me know if you have questions. All right.